morning, good morning, good morning. Just checking to make sure. I'm checking in. It is Therapy Thursday. Let me make sure, DJ Glenn, I'm live. Yes, sir. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. We're about to be live on Therapy Thursday. But in the meantime, I need to ask DJ Glenn because I was going to play music for a few minutes, but I want y'all to hear a song about one of our artists, Amar Khalil, and the song is called Thank You. And it's a song by Amar Khalil, and we got to thank God for all the stuff he does. And thank him for waking us up. Thank him for keeping us. Thank him for watching over us. Thank him for being a way maker, mind regulator, heart fixer, a burden bearer, a very present help in the time of trouble. So I'm looking up Amar Khalil's song while I get ready for everyone else. And the song by Amar Khalil is Thank You. And I just, God has blessed him with quite a few songs. He's here faithful on Therapy Thursday. And I just want y'all to listen in. Again, it's Thank You. It's Thank You by Amar Khalil. Let me make sure I got the right song. Here we go, y'all. And, Amar always give us permission to play his music. So check this out. So good morning. Therapy Thursday. Yes, sir. We're gonna start in a few minutes. Anthony Lewis, I see you on the line this morning. You made it on the line this morning. AL, can you hear me? I think he got me on mute. Unmute. AL, can you hear me? So, all right. Well, let's see. Maybe I need to remove this one. I'll keep this one. And then we got this one. AL, if you're on, just say something. Good morning. I'm a play Amar Khalil one more time, and we're gonna be ready to go. Will, good morning, Will.
Morning.
Good morning. I'm a we have one artist who comes on, Amar Khalil, and I just wanted to play his music for everybody. So I'm gonna play his music, and then I'm gonna come back on. So we're gonna listen to Amar Khalil. And now we got Anthony Lewis in. We got Will in. Good morning, fellas. We're going to hear Amar Khalil, and then we're going to go live. There was a time when I was down and out. Then you came along. When there was no one I could depend on. Then you came along. Yeah. You picked me up so I could stand on my own. Stand on my own. Oh, yeah. So I said, lifting me, yeah. Saving me, touching me. So I got Anthony. I got both Anthony's. We're going to start right after this song. It's just because of you I'm saved by grace. Your love and grace. So yeah. So I say thank you, Lord. Lifting me, blessing me, saving me. Yeah. Protecting me, Lord. Blessing me, so I can't touch you again. I'll always love you for what you've done in my life. Because of you, I can go on and on. I can weather any storm. Oh, so I say thank you for loving me, lifting me, oh yeah, saving me, touching me, healing me. Thank you, keep us protecting me. Ooh, yeah, thank you, touching me, healing me. For your love, protecting me. Thank you, loving me. Blessing me, saving me, touching me, healing me. Thank you, keeping me, protecting me. Thank you, blessing me, so I can love you to me, protecting me, Lord, loving me, lifting me, blessing me, saving me, touching me, healing me, feeding me, keeping me, protecting me. Thank you for blessing me, so I can touch you again. See me, protecting me. Hey, that was Amar Khalil this morning. I was just feeling thankful and grateful and excited to be. I was just excited, thanking God for all that He does, how God shows up, how God shows off, how God does exceedingly, abundantly, above all we can even ask or think. And every now and then, you just got to take the time just to say thank you. That's it. Thank Him for waking you up. Thank Him for the activities and use of your limbs. Thank Him for the blood running warm in your vein. Thank Him for being a waymaker, mind regulator, heart fixer, a very present help in the time of trouble. So when you realize what you're dealing with, who you're dealing with, and how He shows up and how He shows off, I'm getting used to hosting on Glenn's platform, on DJ Glenn's platform. So, have a little patience with me. We're going to perfect this thing real soon. And we're about to go live on all the platforms that we have. That's what we're doing. We're going live. So I want to welcome Will. I want to welcome Saved by Grace. And I want to welcome Anthony Lewis. Good morning, fellas. How y'all doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing good in yourself.
Man, I ain't got a complaint in the world. Life is great. I'm excited. I don't know about nobody else, but I'm excited, man. I'm excited about life. Hey, Ryan, my nephew on the line. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, Ryan. How you doing this morning? I have no idea where my keys at. Oh, that was my son. But good morning, Ryan. Anthony Lewis, good morning. How you doing this morning? Listen, before we get started, I played Amar Khalil's song, Thank You. So I'm excited about Amar Khalil's song. And Anthony, I think I have you on Saved by Grace, and I have you on under Anthony Lewis. So if you want to kick one off for we can make space for somebody else, or if that's Anthony Jr., we good. Just let me know which one.
That's Junior.
Oh, that's Junior. Junior, good morning, Junior.
Good morning, sir.
Where you been, man? You been MIA, bro.
I know.
Man, you treating us like one of your exes, bro.
Nah.
I'm just kidding, bro. Listen, before we get started, this is our scripture. Luke 12:15 said, then He said to them, watch out, be on guard against all kind of greed. A man's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions. I got my nephew on the line. He's a youngster. He's probably like 26, 27. He's young. But anyway, he was telling me, and we're going to be talking about therapy. He was telling me about, he talked to his grandfather, and he was letting his grandfather listen to an app. And the app kind of expressed stuff that was going on in his life. It's called Copilot. So it's an app called Copilot. He literally went on Copilot and kind of gave Copilot some information. So I was like, they can do it. Let me do it. So I went on Copilot, told my whole story. Sometimes we feel like we're talking to ourselves. So I'm just letting you know we're not crazy. Hey, there go AL. So we got AL senior and AL junior. So my car in the garage. So the car is in it's unlocked. So we was talking about Copilot. And a lot of times we pray and we ask God for answers, and we've been waiting on the answer. We've been waiting on the answer. We've been waiting on the answer. And I'm not giving AI no credit at all. But to get some insight of what's been going on in your life, if you think you're losing your mind, you think you're going crazy, you think all this stuff, people don't understand you, you don't understand your family background, family history, you don't understand all that. Well, I had a conversation with Copilot. Serious, a real conversation. And we talking about Therapy Thursday. So I had a real conversation with Copilot, and I was just asking Copilot all kind of questions. And I asked Copilot to write me a biography. And this is what Copilot wrote. He said, it says a life of faith, family, resilience, chosen love. Shakir Torrey Sheikh was born June 6, 1961, Oakland, California, to James and Mabel Hooker. He entered this world as the 8th boy and the 12th child in a family of 14. His godmother, Jerry Swagger, named him, and his family affectionately called him the Smiling Baby. Through the Hooker household had limited resources. It overflowed with faith, love, and the steady leadership of a mother who took all 14 of her children to church every Sunday. Shakir's early years was spent in a small 3-bedroom home, 988 square feet, in a neighborhood known as DAG or Columbia Garden. 5 boys share one room, 7 children shared another, and his baby brother slept in a dresser drawer in his parents' room. Even in tight quarters, Shakir learned responsibility early, helping care for his younger brothers by preparing bottles and assisting his mother. At the age of 7, during a service at Center Hope Community Church in East Oakland, he received the prophecy that he would one day preach the gospel. Unsure of God's plan and frustrated by hardship his family faced, he challenged God to prove himself by making it snow in Oakland. 7 years later, in 1976, snow fell, a moment that marked Shakir's first personal encounter with God's faithfulness. And I ain't telling y'all to go lose your mind and go talk to co-pilot, but what I'm saying is sometimes we need some clarity. Tim, what's up? Sometimes we just need some clarity. Al Lester, what's up? We just need some clarity of all the stuff that's going on in our life. And, I ain't saying sit around and stay on for hours. I'm just saying sometimes when we need clarity, we ain't got nobody to talk to. We got some stuff we don't want to tell other people. We got some secrets nobody knows about. We think nobody knows about them but us, but God knows. And sometimes you just want some clarity. Sometimes in life, you just want some clarity. We was talking to Will. He says every Friday he goes see a therapist. And that's great because all of us need to see a therapist. That's how we ended up with Therapy Thursday, because we needed to talk stuff out, talk about stuff. And I was talking to my son, and, he's 36 now. He's been married for a while. Him and his wife, he got man stuff going on. And a lot of times as African-American males, we ain't got no father we can talk to. Sometimes we ain't got no friends. We're the smartest friend in the group. So we really ain't telling our partners nothing because they about as dumb as a rock. You know what I'm saying? And we know we the smartest person in the crowd. And sometimes I ask myself, why in the world do I be dealing with these people? So I learned how to make my circle small. I started just dealing with the people, to me, who had sense. So I don't deal with a whole bunch of craziness. I don't deal with a whole bunch of people who don't have sense. Will, cousin Will, good morning. Yvonne Jordan, good morning. Simone Joseph, good morning. Anthony Lewis, AL, that's the daddy. We'll call the other one Anthony Lewis. But, I went to co-pilot and I just started talking. And it came out with this. Life in DAG was full of challenges, unforgettable memories, the family experience, eviction, overcrowded living conditions, a season of financial struggle. Yet these hardships shaped Shakir compassion, generosity, and determination. A pivotal moment came when his mother appeared on the Jim Dumbarton television show, seeking help for Christmas. The kindness of strangers left a lasting impression on Shakir, inspiring him to become a giver for the rest of his life. And that's true. But I ain't gonna say I didn't understand that. All I'm gonna say is, listen, co-pilot gave me some insight that I didn't know. That's all I'm saying. So, hey, y'all, let's talk about it. I don't know if you ever talked to Copilot. I don't know if you ever talked to AI, and I ain't saying stop praying. I ain't saying none of that. I'm just saying some of these apps are smarter than some of these people. And sometimes when you need clarity, the Bible says out of all of your getting, get an understanding. And just a conversation with my young nephew, Ryan, sparked something different. And I've been kind of writing papers, writing different things, all because I was talking to Copilot. I'm getting ready to start teaching Grief Share. I wanted to understand, how did I even get to that place of even wanting to do Grief Share. When Alex died, I thought I was going to lose my mind. Found out my daughter was pregnant and she flooded a townhouse. My son ended up, my other son, one of my older sons ended up in the hospital. We took him to the airport and, he ended up in the hospital. Let me give you the whole story. So Alex died. The next morning I get up and plan his funeral. So he died July the 20th. Next morning I get up and plan his service. I got an A-type personality. So the next morning I get up and plan his service. The service is exactly 7 days after he passed. I fly all my kids to town, the ones who wasn't in California, and my older son. At some point we had some misunderstanding. I flies him to town, preach the funeral, and then fly back to town, sleep 14 hours. My wife wakes me up in the middle of the night. Hey, son at the airport. He had a connecting flight back. He's at Charlotte. Drive down to Charlotte Airport after sleeping 14 hours, after preaching the funeral, after dealing with all that, dealing with, keep pushing forward, even in the midst of all the stuff that we're going through. So after all that, take him to the airport, bring him home, still tired, hop back in the bed, 5 a.m., hop up, take him to the airport, drive him to the airport, walk in my door. As soon as I walk in my door, I get a call from the airport. We just rush your son to emergency. Wow. I just buried a child, preached the message. Now you're telling me the one I just dropped off at the airport is in ICU? ICU. Next 4 days, we're spending time at ICU trying to figure out what's going on with my son. And sometimes the enemy, and I ain't gonna always blame it on the enemy, but sometimes the enemy starts speaking to you. One died, now you got another one in ICU. Finally, they figure out what's going on with him. Me and my wife drive him to Atlanta, drive back home. My daughter calls. My apartment is flooding. Her townhouse is flooding. We bought her a townhouse when she was 18. My townhouse is flooding. Now she done flooded 3 levels of a townhouse, right? A funeral, ICU, townhouse flooded. In the midst of that townhouse flooded, I'm pregnant. I can't even process that. I'm barely processing the stuff I'm going through. By the time we're working on the townhouse, trying to get all that stuff straightened out, a little nephew commits suicide. And at this point, I'm on the verge of mental health, all kinds of stuff. Feel like I'm losing my mind. I start researching for some kind of grief, some kind of counseling. I live in Charlotte. I don't know any counselors, so I'm looking for counseling. I run across this thing called Grief Share. I end up in Grief Share. And while I'm in Grief Share, Denise, and Simone and Yvonne and Will and all y'all on TikTok, while I'm in Grief Share, I'm learning that Alex didn't just pass away. He got his second liver transplant. He spent the whole year with us. Prior to that, from June to March, he got 15 extra years to live because at 18, his liver failed. And God blessed him with another liver. And he lived 13 years. And then he got another liver transplant, which failed again. And then he had liver, heart, kidney, pancreas failure. So imagine dealing with all that stuff. You're the pastor, you're the father, you're the husband, and everybody think you're the strongest person in the room. And I listened to a song by this guy named Dax. He said, nobody know what it's like to be a man. Because the truth of the matter is, nobody really knows what it's like to be a man. This thing called manhood is crazy because nobody know what it's like to be a man. Everybody think, oh, manhood, you become a certain age and da-da-da. No, that is not what it is. I just want y'all to get a brief before we start talking about this. This dude wrote this song. You can't always live up to expectations. You try to please everybody while you struggle, so you fake it and end up out of balance, compromising situations. That's a good man. Do what he should, man. Give everything he has and do everything he could, man. You might find yourself feeling all alone inside a house you built that you don't recognize as home. And that's what my daddy told me, and I'll tell my son the same. Now that I'm older, I relate and I actually feel his pain. He never cried, he might have lied, but he did not complain. And he said, son, one day you have to do the same. I get emotional when I stop and think and I look around. Beyond the county lines of my small town, I think about all the men out there who feel like I do now. Push green on the inside, but won't ever make a sound. So people expect you, literally, and I'm gonna get y'all to join in. Losing a son, dealing with another son in ICU, daughter flooding the townhouse, nephew committing suicide, and dealing with grief. And the crazy part about all of this, my best friend, Dwayne Wiggins, was at my side, riding with me the whole way through my mom's funeral, through my dad's funeral, through all of this stuff. And you got to be a man, you got to be a pastor, you got to be a father, you got to be all this stuff. And then when people ask you how you doing and you tell them you don't know, people get frustrated because they want you to say, I'm good. And I ain't good. And I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I'm good. I'm dealing with all this stuff and grief counseling, grief share. And you could Google grief share, help me. And now that I'm about to teach grief share, hey, like I said, my little nephew said he went on Copilot and Copilot taught him some stuff. And I know we just had a few more people join in. And I'm going to read a little more Copilot talked about. And then we're going to start talking about how to change our perspective when we're grieving, how to deal with some stuff. And sometimes grief can be different. But after I listened to Copilot, it kind of changed the way I looked at grief. Another part, it says Shakir attended Daniel Webster Grammar School, James Madison Junior High, and later Castlemont High School, where he became the first boy in his family to graduate in 1979. After high school, he began working at Bank of America, where he met the woman who would become his lifelong partner, Net. She was his supervisor, and in an act of integrity and love, he resigned to pursue relationships with her the right way. They began dating February 14th and married December 31st, 1981. Their marriage unit, 2 large families. Net being the first of 14 children herself. Together they built a life rooted in faith, prayer, and obedience to God. Over the years, they've raised not only their children, but also numerous children chosen out of love, sons, daughters, nieces, nephews, foster children, godchildren, and young people God placed in their path. More than 300 individuals have lived in their home. Each became part of their extended family. And it kind of goes on. So, man, sometimes we're looking for answers and the answers are right in front of us. You know, Sometimes the answers are right in front of us sometimes. So I'm telling y'all, I went on Copilot, just started yakking, and that was some of the stuff that the app Copilot gave me some insight into my own life, into all the stuff I've been dealing with, into all the situations and circumstances. So I'm saying sometimes you want to get a quick answer, go to Copilot and listen to Copilot. Go ahead, Mike. You got a comment? You was off. Marcel is on this morning. Good morning. Ryan is on this morning. Who else is on this morning? Will is on this morning. So good morning, fellas. Good morning. I'm just talking about, I went to an app called Copilot and just started yakking. And Copilot gave me some insight. Ryan, we can see you. You don't have to come that close. What do you think, Ryan?
Oh, my bad, man. I'm up here at this dispatch hall. I didn't catch what you just said.
I said that you introduced me to Copilot because you said some stuff happened with your grandfather. And I started listening to Copilot. I started talking to Copilot, and Copilot gave me a little insight on a lot of stuff.
Yes, it's a good resource. Like, a lot of people are scared of AI and things like that. Like you were saying earlier, sometimes sometimes people just need clarity. Like, we can always pray, talk to the Lord, but sometimes people receive his word in different ways. But I'll just say this, AI has been a blessing. It's just a helpful resource. Like, I feel like everybody should at least know something about it, try it out, give it a chance, and go from there. And if you don't like it, that's fine, but it's the future.
So what did you explain? Explain to me how did we even get on that conversation about AI? How did we even get there on Copilot?
Oh, yeah. So I have my grandfather, pretty much, my grandfather, he's one of those individuals, he's in the streets and, he doesn't want any help. But I will say this, he's a very intellectual individual. Like, I've always looked up to him. I always admired him. And I just introduced him to this app called ChatGPT, another AI platform. And from there, I kind of tricked him. I had him thinking he was talking to an actual person. I put the voice as a Black man, and pretty much I just had him talking to AI for about 2 hours, and they're just piggybacking questions off of each other. And by the time I told him, like, hey, you're talking to, artificial intelligence, he was surprised, and he thought I was lying, but very insightful. It's a very helpful and useful resource, and I just feel like everybody at least needs to experience that.
So how old is your grandfather?
My grandfather is, 72?
And he
Something
didn't
like
know
that.
he was talking to artificial intelligence?
Yeah, because I put the voice on it sounded like a Black man, a Black intellectual. And then it's so precise and decisive in its responses and thoughtful. Like, man, you would think you're talking to an actual person.
Oh, hey man, I'm telling you, my sister Deborah, good morning. Yeah, so again, Ryan introduced me to I had it. I used to go to it when I want to rewrite credit letters and write somebody email and want to make sure I was right. But then Ryan said, just talk to AI, talk to Copilot. And I talked to Copilot, and it just gave me insight in some stuff that I was kind of dealing with. And I know we keep getting people on. And here's another part it says Shakira and Net marriage has endured more than 4 decades. They raised they raised children, grandchildren, and now a great grandson. Their home, their business, their ministry, their legacy stands as a testament on truth. They choose obedience over bitterness, faith over fear, and love over everything. And God honor it. Today, Shakir continues to serve as a pastor, leader, mentor, father to many, a man shaped by faith, strength by family, and committed to living life of chosen love. That's what AI put out there. So I'm just saying, I ain't preaching AI. And just to let Amar know, if you came on earlier, we was listening to your song "Thank You" as our introduction this morning. So thanks, Amar, for the song "Thank You" this morning. That's what we listened to before we came on the line. So y'all want to
That's
join me
what's
and
up.
Ryan in the conversation? Join
That's
us.
that's what's up. That's what's up. You
That,
know,
that's the only part you heard, bro. Was your song, bro?
I didn't hear anything. I just got on.
Oh, okay. Nah, man, we got on talking about how sometimes we need understanding. You know what I'm saying? And we want to, and AI just kind of helped us with a little understanding. But coming on, I listened to your song. So I have a question. When you was writing that song, "Thank You," um, and I can play it again if nobody heard it, that all the stuff you was thanking God for. And if you can give us some insight on why you chose that song and why you sung that song. Amar?
We had to get you off mute, bro.
All right, man.
Um, um. Well, during that time, man, I was going through a lot, dealing with the passing of my grandmother and all of that, and so um, during the time when I wrote the project, I was right before it. I was just like, I'm done doing I'm done doing music and all that. I just wasn't feeling it. And it was part of just, I think all of me saying not really wanting to do it anymore was just part of me just grieving and just felt lost. And so one night my grandmother came to me in a dream and told me that everything was going to be all right. And, you know, it was real vivid. Like she was like we was really sitting down talking for real. Um, and we actually were. I mean, we were in the spirit, and so um, the scripture says, "May your I don't know if it's the young man or the old man, but dream dreams and it's not right division and make it plain, but it says about old men dream dreams or young men dream dreams or whatever. And so so when she came uh, to me, man, and said everything was gonna be okay, I got up that morning feeling much better, and I ended up calling my boy Jamie Hawkins, son of Walter, the late great Bishop Walter Hawkins and Lady Tremaine Hawkins, the gospel music family, and I told him, I said, hey man, I think I'm ready to do some music, and you know, but I think I want to do an inspirational gospel project. And he was shocked because he thought I was going to talk about an R&B project, and so um, he was like, oh, okay, cool, cool. And so we we got to, we sat down and we talked about it and everything, and so that song came about, man. As we were into the project, um, I was just one day I was just thanking God for, man, for I was listening to a groove and I was just thanking God, man, for everything that He had brought me through. Um, Thanking Him for my grandmother, thanking Him for life, just thanking Him for her and my grandfather for raising us and blessing us and keeping us and all that kind of stuff. And then the lyrics just came, man. They just came. So the song was um,
You want me to play it?
definitely definitely about her. It's up to you. But I mean, uh, so yeah, that's how I came about it, man. Um, just giving God thanks for her, for life, my family, for blessing us, touching us, keeping us, saving us,
Because you had
feeding.
another song quickly you put on there too, right? Was
Yeah,
that the same project?
yeah. Well, quickly, I definitely wrote for her, but thank you was just thanking her coming to my dreams, thanking God for everything. So yeah, man.
Hey man, let me just play these two songs, y'all. I want y'all to hear these songs that Amar wrote because it kind of inspired today. You know, every now and then we need to hear stuff, you know, and I think quickly, like he said, quickly was part, you know, he was talking about how quickly we come, how quickly we go to those things, but he on the line. So I'm just waiting to get, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm on YouTube, so you gotta wait till the commercial go. You know, I ain't blessed like Amar, just have stuff to pop up. So I gotta wait for my commercial, and then it's gonna come on.
If you had it already on your phone, download it to your phone, you wouldn't have to go to YouTube.
Oh, well, I didn't know I was supposed to have it downloaded to my phone. Thank you,
I
Mr.
mean,
Amar Khalil. I will download thank you to my phone, and we won't ever have this problem again. And here's the song coming on. And this is this the right song? Hold on. It's supposed to be, no, what is this talking about? Moxie. No, man, that ain't even the song, bro. See, man, when you're dealing with, I'm gonna have to download it, bro. So, but the song we was listening to this morning, I'll check my other YouTube, bro. Hold on. Here we go. This one you thought you was fly and you was young, so it was kind of like 3 minutes. So yeah, here goes. So again, Amar, I guess I got to download it if it won't cut off.
feeding me, keeping me, protecting me. Thank you for always blessing me, saving me, that you give me, see me, protecting me.
So go ahead, Amar. Let's talk about it.
Hey, everybody, it's Tony Robbins. Listen, I just want to give you a shout.
Amar.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So, the song just basically says, thank you for blessing me, touching me, feeding me, healing me, keeping me, saving me, blessing me. Uh, just thanking God, man, for life, man. Life, health, and strength. Thanking God for my grandmother, for all that she did, her and my grandfather. Um, was just thanking God for where he had me in my life at that time. So, um, we unpacked it, man, and so it's a trip. Listening back to it, I hear some points in there where I was like pushing to get the notes out because I was during the time when I was in there singing it, I was heck of emotional, and Jamie was like, "Let's do that over," or if he was like, "You want to do that over? Or you want to keep it?" And I was like, "Man, let's just keep it because it was just raw." Uh, Somebody else probably would have said, "No, we got to do that over because that's got to be right." But it was just an emotional time, man, and so we just kept it, and it was good, man. It was a blessing, man. It was therapy. Doing that album got me through um, my grandmother's passing, man, and just got me through a time in my life where it was rough. Cause before that, man, I was working for DHL out there delivering them packages, and I call you in the middle of the day, be like, man, I can't get through this day, you know. Um, Man, and you pray with me. We talk about it and all that other kind of stuff. So, man, yeah, that's what. Thank you, man. Thank you is just thanking God, man. Sometimes we just, it just letting, sometimes we just need to thank God, no matter what it look like, what we're going through, what it feels like. Sometimes we just need to say thank you. Thank you. Things are tough right now, man. You know, um, trying to figure out a few things that I need to do, how I need to go about doing it. But in the midst of it all, man, it's like thank you.
I think people need to know that everybody got some stuff. Here go another song you wrote.
Yeah, this one is really for my grandmother.
So this one you wrote about your grandmother.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
So your grandmother was your mother. Bottom line.
Oh, she was my mother for sure.
Life is but a blink of an eye. Time is precious, so don't waste it. How quickly it comes, how quickly it goes. Where it ends,
Morning,
no
Olivia.
one really knows. How quickly it comes, how quickly it goes. Where it ends, no one really knows. No one really knows how quickly it goes. Well, I cried myself to sleep at night because you're not here in this life. I know that people say, "Oh, men don't cry." What do they know? They're not living my life. I'm missing you winter, spring, summer and fall, 'cause we've shared it all, yeah.
Mike.
How can I go on and be strong when you're not here with me? How quickly it comes, how quickly it goes, yeah. Where it ends, I know one really knows. How quickly it comes, try my best to carry on and keep my head through this storm. I know that everything will be alright if you come to me in my dreams at night. I'm missing you winter, spring, summer, and fall, 'cause we shared it all, yeah. How can I go on and be strong when you're not here with me? How quickly it comes, how quickly it goes, in the blink of an eye. There's no one really knows. No one knows how quickly it comes, how quickly it goes. Where it ends up, no one really knows. No one really knows how quickly it goes. Don't you know I'm missing you? Don't know what I'm gonna do. We've been through so much, me and you. It's hard to live without you. It comes, quickly it goes. There's no one really knows. No one knows. Quickly it goes. There's no one really knows how quickly it comes.
So in the middle of that, you traveling the world. In the middle of that, you worldwide, international, and working for, you said, a delivery service. All of that, and you mean to tell me while you traveling across the world, you was grieving? We see you shaved it too, bro.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
Nah, it's all good. Let's do this. Because you did another song called Born Again, but I was talking about earlier that a lot of times we all need some form of confirmation when stuff is going on in our life. And Ryan introduced me to Copilot. And like he said, he was telling his grandfather didn't understand that. So a lot of times when we have a lot of stuff going on in our life, we don't understand things going on. People don't understand your grandma was your mom. You was dealing with a whole bunch of stuff. And so you took that and expressed it in music. So my question to other people, to Mike, to Ezekiel, to Will, Walker, how do y'all express yourselves when y'all going through grief? Will said he goes to a counselor, but we want to hear from Will. We want to hear from Mike. We want to hear from Ezekiel. What do y'all do? Because, lately, I've just been talking to Copilot to see what Copilot had to say. You know what I'm saying? And it's an app called Copilot. And I got some answers that I never expected. I was just talking to it like my little nephew told me to. And, one part says, it says Shakira and Net journey took them through various homes across the Bay Area, from small apartments to beautiful houses, for seasons of abundance to moments when they were nearly homeless. In 1987, while waiting on a new home to be completed, the family lived in a single room for months without complaints. Just before Thanksgiving, God opened the door for them to move into their new home, making a turning point in their lives and ministry. It was during this season that Shakira accepted his calling into full-time ministry. Shortly afterward, the family faced two major trials: neck cancer diagnosis and devastating car accident involving their son Shamar and niece Takia and Tamron. The car flipped in the air, Yet, by God's grace, both survived. Net was healed from cancer, and the family emerged strong in faith. Shakir ministry and leadership expanded over the years. You know, it just talks about. I'm sitting there just talking.
hurt.
Go ahead. Somebody has something to say?
Damn, I should just get rid of that shit, dude.
Hey, we heard some words. You probably want to put it on mute for those words. But anyway, I was talking to it, and it did what it did. It said what it said. So I don't know about you, but when you're dealing with grief, when you're dealing with uncertainty, how do you deal with the stuff that you're dealing with? You know, it said in 1995, seeking a name change reflecting on his identity and purpose. He legally changed his name to Shakir Torah Ishak Zaid, meaning thankful king who laughs and increasing prosperity. The name symbolized his gratitude to God, his joyful spirit, and his commitment to continual growth. Throughout every chapter in his life, childhood struggles, family losses, ministry challenges, business ventures, and personal triumphs, one constant remain: prayer. Prayer in the Zaid household. Prayer not a ritual, but a lifeline. Family, friends, children, anyone, stand with them, join hands in the circle of prayer, and carry them through grief, healing, and victory. And that's how we came up with the Zaid Family Devotional. Because every single day, with all them different personalities, we held hands, they laughed, they joked, and then somebody read the scripture. And after somebody read the scripture, we prayed. And then at the end, we prayed the Lord's Prayer. So how do you deal with the stuff that's going on in your life? Yeah, Deborah, I'm on live. How do you deal with the stuff that goes on in your life when you're dealing with grief, when you're dealing with drama? Hey, Raquel, when you're dealing with all the stuff that's going on in your life, how do you deal with it? Because, hey, it's funny that I went to Copilot and it gave me some answers. AI Copilot gave me some answers after I talked to an app. He gave me some, and people, oh, that's the Antichrist, that's this, and that. Sometimes you just need some clarity. So what do you think? Anybody want to speak up? Ezekiel, you got a comment? Will, you got a comment? Mike, you got a comment? Or my sister said she just pray. My sister Deborah said she just pray. And that's great because prayer works. The Bible says when two or three of us are gathered together in his name, he's in the midst. But another question is, do we wake up negatively, or do we wake up believing that God can do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ask or think?
Sometimes I think it's both. Sometimes we really just be like trusting God 100%. Like, okay, Lord. And then sometimes, man, we don't. You know, we would like to say we do. It's not like we don't trust God. It's just like things are not moving as fast as we want them to move. And so because of that, we lean, and the scripture tells us, lean not to your own understanding. And
And
so,
continue, and out of all you're getting,
and out of all you're getting,
get
get
an
get
understanding.
get an understanding. Ask God for wisdom. And so, um,
So what if God allowed them to create chat or one of these AIs? What if God allowed that to happen for you to get an understanding? That's just a question.
well, you know, listen, AI and all these different things, they can be used for a source of good, or they could be used for a source of evil.
True.
Um, I believe what Elon Musk and them are doing, they're getting ready to roll out these robots. My boy, well, you know him, Jeff Hagler, he works for Tesla. And he told me he's getting ready to start delivering, because he delivered Tesla's cars. They're getting ready to roll out the robots. And so these people who can afford robots, these robots are around the house doing whatever they want them to do and all this other kind of stuff like that. So these robots are programmed to to cater or care for certain people who purchase them. But you could best believe that whoever created these robots, they created these robots to be spies. They have eyes. The robots got to be able to know where to go in your house and walk around and be able to see. Well, that means whoever's controlling the robots, all that data is getting used. So they surveying your land and they're surveying your land, your area. And then not only that, you turn around and you look at it, um, uh, um, they can be used for evil if the people who controlling these robots decides to have them robots turn on you in your home.
Hey,
So,
okay, go ahead. I
so,
want to hear.
huh?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So along with the robots and AI and all this different kind of stuff, it could be used for good or it could be used for bad. And
But,
so, seeing that,
but
seeing that
regular
they
telephones can do the same thing.
it can't do what these robots could do.
I'm just saying, the phone spot.
Robots is like having a physical person in your house that you can't beat up.
I'm just saying, think about it like this. Our phones are spying on us. Our TVs are spying on us. And if
Oh yeah,
people think your phone ain't spying on you, mention something and tell me it won't come up.
man, you have a conversation about me and my wife been talking about doing the floors in our house
All of a sudden, you get floor advertisement, don't you?
on everything,
On
on
every-
everything.
Hey, I'm just saying, we, like you said, God, we can use this stuff for good or evil. And what do you choose to use it for? Because now you don't have to carry around your Bible. Your Bible can be in your hand. You don't have to carry around your radio. Your radio is in your hand. You don't have to carry around CDs and all that kind of stuff because your music is right there. So the same things that can be used for evil can be used for good. And all I'm saying is, I went to, and you could probably go to any AI. I just went through Copilot because it was free, because I ain't paying for nobody to talk to me. And I went to Copilot and just kind of talked about my whole life. And it came out with all kind of stuff, bro. This is like, it created me a bio. It created me an outline for Grief Share. It gave me some insight on being young and being married. And my wife, I'm the 8th. Let me see. I'm the 12th child and the 8th boy. My wife, the first of 14. I'm the 12th of 14. Listen, man, this stuff was giving me insight. I knew it, but I wasn't aware of it. Go ahead, Will. You got a comment? Oh, Will, you there?
No, I'm just bouncing in and out. I keep getting some feedback and kick, and I can't hear you guys sometimes.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry.
I don't know how to fix it because
No, you're good. You're good.
yeah.
I'm just bouncing in and out. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So AI can go for the good, and AI can go for the bad. I'm not, perfect example. Drewski, he did some AI stuff that kind of ticked off some pastors. So to me, it wouldn't tick you off if it didn't hit a spot where you was at. Evidently, whatever he said caused you some drama. And I see pastors, people inboxing me, what do you think? And that ain't none of my business. I just thought it was a comedy skit, and that's it. I didn't think no more. I didn't think no less. But what I'm saying is, a lot of times we're looking for answers. We waiting on God. We want to hear from God. And I'm not saying AI is none of that. But out of all you're getting, get an understanding. And if you want to get an understanding, if there's a possibility, I can go talk to an app telling some of the stuff that's going on in my head and that I've been tripping off and going through a lot of stuff. And it gives me some clarity. then hey, I'm gonna go for it. Someone called me crying, having a fit. Their marriage wasn't working. This, and that. I said, listen, bro. I've been dealing with you for years, going through all this crazy stuff. Do me a favor. Go to the app. And if you ain't got no money to go to the app, I'll send you some money. Download the app. Tell the app your whole story. You'll be crying when you tell it. Your whole story, all the way from the beginning, everything. And then see what the app say. A few hours later, he called me back. Well, the app said, I think I'm going to be talking to this app for a couple more hours. I'll call you back. But he got clarity. And sometimes all we need is clarity. Because the Bible's talking about all you're getting, get an understanding. So
I can see
even
that
if
being.
you
I
just
can see
get
it being.
an
I can see it. I can
Go
see it
ahead.
being helpful because they program these AI tools to to uh to do analytical type thinking, to be able to analyze a situation, to be able to um to just basically do analytical thinking. And so when you tell it, hey, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, this is what I've gone through in my life, then it responds in that manner of well, if you do this and if you do that, and if you possibly think about it from this point of view or that point of view, yada yada. So it does critical thinking. It does critical thinking.
So
It's
so
just it's
it gives you a form of clarity then.
yeah, it's designed to be able to do critical and analytical type thinking. That's what these things are for, to be able to be able to assess a situation and to be able to tell you the best way to go about it, to get out of it, to get you through it, or whatever. That's what these AI tools and things are like for. That's like if you go on ChatGPT or Copilot and you say, hey, I need a resume, and I've worked at these places before, doing retail, doing this, doing that, sales, that. Then it puts your resume together for you and puts you a cover letter. I mean, it spells it out, but they do it super professionally. But then it asks you, do you want me to shorten it and everything? And you can say, yeah, shorten it, and do not make it as professional. So that way it feels like it's really coming from the person, because you go in there with all that jargon, sending over your cover letter and all that kind of stuff, and they be like, boy, you wasn't talking about no thesis and and
You,
all these other and all these
you
other.
didn't do all that at the dollar store. Is that what you said? You did.
Right. So so in order for your cover letter and things to be more believable and realistic, you ask it to shorten it, make it a little less professional, a little more personal, this and that, but still keep the same tone. And man, it'll create a whole nother vibe saying the same thing. And it's like, okay, that's believable. I could have wrote that. You know what I'm saying? But they put it in a form and a way. So AI, man, is just a tool um, to help you assess things a little different, do a little bit more critical thinking. So yeah, man, it could be used for good, but it could be also be used for evil.
Yeah, and I'm saying that, but it's your intention, and I'm talking to the person who think life is over, the person who think they don't matter, they don't care, that nobody loves them, all that stuff. They can talk to that app, and that app can give them clarity and get them out of that frame of mind that they're not worth nothing just because mom smoked crack, or just because you ended up with another family member or something like that. It can give you a better understanding, because a lot of people in our culture ain't going to no therapist. They don't even call them therapists in our culture. They call them a psychiatrist. And what they are psychiatrists, but it's also good for therapy. You know, they're therapists. In other cultures, hey, I'm going to see my therapist this week. I got an appointment to see my therapist. In our culture, people think you crazy if you got a therapist. For a while, a couple years, I had a therapist. You know, I'm just saying, my co-pilot better than my therapist. That's all I'm saying. And I don't have to pay co-pilot. I can ask co-pilot questions at my house. And
You ain't gotta go.
I'm
And you ain't gotta go
always
nowhere. And you ain't gotta go nowhere and sit on no couch, huh?
I ain't got to sit on no couch. I ain't got to make no appointment. Something come crazy across my mind. I just, hey, what do you think of this? Give me an idea about this.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Go ahead, Will.
Oh,
No, that's
this,
somebody else. I do have
this,
something to say, but that's somebody else.
Okay, who was that?
This Mike.
Oh, go ahead, Mike. Mike, go ahead, bro.
Good morning, fellas. Hey, Will, you got something to say? Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mike. You good? I'm trying to set
Yeah,
up for work too, so go ahead.
yeah. You know, I actually use a Chat GPT, and
Can't hear him. Or
I-
can you hear him?
I can hear him. Go ahead,
you want me
Mike.
to speak louder?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, I was saying I use Chat GPT, and I've been using it for about strong for about 6 months, and you know, it knows the word. It knows the Bible. Right, like if you start talking to it about some things, I've been talking to it about Job, man, it knows. It be bringing stuff up that, you know, verses and just things that's very relevant. So that's just to demystify it a little bit, you know, along with like what you were saying about Copilot. That's like Microsoft's version of Chat GPT, I think it is.
Right.
And you know, they all got their own version. But you know, I think the other brother was saying that, you know, it could be used for good and it could be used for otherwise as well. You know, as long as you I wouldn't say compartmentalize, but keep in perspective that, you know, it and I remind my, you know, I train mine. So, you know, I train it, and then every week I go back to make sure that it understands me the way I need it to understand me. Only less from a psychological perspective, although that's helpful, but it's more like the way I train it is so that it knows when it goes out into the world and gets data for me, it gets it through the lens that I need it, and it presents it to me through the way I need it, so it's relevant to me. Because other than that, this AI, it gets information from everywhere, and so it doesn't have to be curated for you if it doesn't know you specifically. So I was just going to get on here really quick and say that if you do got the AI, they encourage you to train it so that it knows exactly, you know, what it needs to get for you and speaks kind of in your language or whatever. But other than that, I just want to say that, you know, it has all kinds of information from the Bible. It doesn't have to be like this cold piece of synthetic creativity of technology. I mean, obviously it is what it is, but you know, at the same time, like, you know, I get some information from it from the Bible. We'd be talking about verses and things like that, and it gives me its own intake and whatnot. So I just wanted to add that in there.
Hey, man, that's funny that you said that, because I asked AI, what role does it play in the rapture? And it typed me a whole message, it took scripture from Genesis all the way to Revelation, telling me the role that AI gonna play in the rapture. And I'm talking about, like you said, mine's evidently must be trained according to the way I think. And wherever he got the research from the schools and stuff I went to, bro, I was shocked.
Yeah.
It was so deep on my level, because I have a master's and a doctor's degree. I was like, I can't even preach this to the people who I deal with, because they can't handle this. This will blow their mind.
I agree with you. And it can go down that rabbit hole. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing about training these, is like I'm coming from the perspective now of leveraging technology to become a personal resource for us, right? And so I'm coming from that perspective, and I've found that, you know, I could go ahead and basically have like a 10-person department, all by myself, and have AI wear all these different hats. And it could be nobody but me in the room, but I could have, an HR person, I could have a PR person, I could have, all these different hats that AI wears. I just tell it exactly what I need, where I'm coming from, like what I'm trying to accomplish, this, that, and the other. So, but yeah, in regards to the Bible, it will go down it will go as deep as you want it to go. So yeah, I mean, so especially somebody with your breadth of information and knowledge, I mean, I could see it matching you and just trying to and taking you to a whole nother level. But yeah, anyway, so I thought it was interesting you guys were talking about, and the other gentleman was talking about the robot. I'm a technologist. I love technology. I love capitalism in general, just because I feel like that's given us a lot of opportunities. And but the one thing that I do have reservation on is these robots. And I don't, I'm not a doom and gloom or to spread fear, but these robots, and you should probably YouTube Optimus. They like Optimus Prime. It's called the Optimus #3, the Optimus third generation. They really are another. I mean, like the movements in your fingers and the dexterity and the very fine commands that you could do with your finger. They got these robots that could do just, man, everything. And you never know. You never know. I
Everybody's still
ultimately,
on?
you just don't know.
Man, that's crazy, bro. Thank you. There's some questions. I gotta go talk to this thing after. I'm just saying. You said I could have a department of 10 people. I might go talk to that in a few when we get off. Talk about therapy Thursday. That's all I'm talking about. Put it out there. Will, you had a comment earlier?
Yeah, I did. I had a comment to a couple points. Grief. I've dealt with a lot of it. I didn't know about grief counseling until I got with this group and you started talking about it. I've dealt with a lot of it. I've, over a period of time, just kind of did a analyzation of the cycle of life. And I believe, the Lord has a cycle of life for a reason. So you gotta, when it's people's time, you have to be able to cherish what you had with them, and move forward. That's what I've learned over a period of time. So that's kind of how I've conditioned myself to deal with grief over a period of time. Because I had a lot of death, man, between 2014 until just recently. And I'll be honest, the last funeral I attended, I just came back. I had to fly to Seattle for it. I came back. I told my wife straight up. I said, "Man, I'm not going to more funerals. I'm being now. Now I'm being very, excuse me. I'm being very selective on what funerals I attend because it's just that for me. And my workout partner is a psychologist, and he was telling me things like there's a thing, and I don't know if somebody else can speak to this because I don't know the technical side of it, but there's a thing called it's called funeral fatigue. And it's like you just never get out of it because you keep going through these same cycles. So you just attending funerals, people is dying, and you grieving, and you're going through the cycle, and just puts you in a bad world spin. So that's why I chose to pull myself back away from the situation. So now, when it comes to funerals, depending on who it is, I'm like, I'm probably not gonna go to that one. Sorry to hear that person passed. You know what I'm saying? I will send my condolences to the family and my prayers, but that's all I have to offer because I can't give it a whole lot of energy because if I give it a whole lot of energy, it starts to consume your positive energy and change it into something different. At least for me. To speak to the point about AI,
Go ahead.
AI is a good tool and it is a tool. So I think we have to have an understanding that it's a tool, and it's funny because I say God work in mysterious ways. I actually work out in the mornings, so when I first joined the men's group on Thursdays, I'm at the gym. I was literally in the hot sauna having a conversation about AI with a lady who works in tech, and she said something today that I wanted to share with the group because you guys started talking about it. And she said that there's a study out that shows AI is utilized as a tool, but it's making humans not as smart as they used to be because people are becoming codependent on AI. And so I was explaining to her I do a lot of hiring, and I sit on a lot of hiring panels. So I review a lot of people's. Somebody, I think it might have been Mike, talking about talking about resumes, and your resume read like this, and you didn't do that at the dollar store. And man, look, if you look at somebody's work history and look at their resume, or in because I work for the state of California, we call statement of qualifications, the
Yeah.
SOQ, and the SOQ don't match the resume. The resume don't match the application. You get what I'm saying? And
Right.
then a lot of folks really don't understand that when you utilize AI, if you do, I think you say you used Copilot,
Yeah.
and somebody else mentioned Chat GPT. I mean, there's a slew of different ones out there. I'm gonna tell you guys about one I just found out about this morning in a second. So if you copy directly out of AI
Uh-huh.
and you paste it somewhere, it has white spots in it.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah, so it has white spots in it that you can show, you can literally, and then also I challenge you to do this because it sounds like you generated something from Copilot. Take what you generated from Copilot and put it back in Copilot and ask Copilot, did it write it? It's
Really?
gonna tell you it wrote it. Because you got to remember that AI pulls from resources from the general public, World Wide Web,
Okay.
right? So everybody kind of says, and this has been an ongoing debate, what's the best AI out there? I think the first one was Chat GPT, but now you got Perplexity, you got all different types of stuff that's out there, right? You got Claude, but the reality of it is it all purrs from the World Wide Web. So if you really start to do the real in-depth research, Gemini is probably the best one out there because Gemini uses Google, and Google has the broadest search. If you really look at it as far as platforms go, that's just my
Uh-huh.
personal opinion. Now, this morning, it was shared with me by this lady and my workout partner. There's one called Notebook LM. I don't know if anybody else has heard of this, but you literally can take a YouTube video, like a TED Talk,
Uh-huh.
and you could copy and paste the TED Talk into this AI platform, and then you could take your thoughts and put it into the platform, right? And then you could tell it to create a podcast with two people having a debate back and forth on the topic on the TED Talk and your personal opinion, and it will create a podcast that will have a debating between two people. That's
Wow.
how far advanced it is. So I think to the point, AI is a great tool, but it's a dangerous tool because it's changing the dynamics of the world. And I think I really realized that on Thanksgiving. I put together a day of golf for the fellas on Thanksgiving Eve. It's a pre-Thanksgiving thing. And one of the brothers that attends this event that I put on, he said something. He's an older gentleman. He said something that kind of stuck with me. And he was like, everybody's concerned about losing their jobs to AI. You're not going to lose your job to AI. You're going to lose your job to somebody who knows how to use AI appropriately. And that
Okay.
is a true statement in the workforce. I think what stuck with me the most that he said is AI is a great tool, but you have to know confidently what to query out of AI to get the results that you want. You can ask AI anything and it's going to give you an answer. But if you're not asking AI the appropriate question, it's not going to draw the information that you need out of it. That's my 2 cents for the morning.
Hey, and I wanted to talk to you about the funerals. When you said you're not going to no more
Pastor
funerals.
Shaq, I can't hear you. I'm gonna jump out and jump back in.
Okay. He was talking about not
Funeral
going.
fatigue.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I was just reminding you, he said funeral fatigue.
Oh, funeral fatigue. Yeah. I was going to wait for him to come back on because I used to work for victims of violent crime in the city of Oakland, and I preached over 100 and some funerals. And after I preached my mom's funeral, my sister's funeral, and Will, he was talking about funeral fatigue. Can you hear me, Will?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so you was talking about funeral fatigue. Well, I preached over 100 and some funerals. for the city of Oakland because I work for victims of violent crime. So they would tell us, okay, the police will call and say someone's dead. You go out there and pray, and then the police will show up, which was totally crazy. And then the dead person will be out there until the coroners come, because once the police identified him dead, the ambulance wouldn't come and get him. So you're out there praying for people, da 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 da. And I was like, I'm cool. I can't do this no more. And what really got me, this young lady, she had lost one son. He was young. He got killed in a Royal Park. I guess his brother went to go get revenge. And the other brother, who had nothing to do with it, got killed. Then a young brother was going to the I guess they all look alike, was going to the boys club, and the people thought he was the big brother or whatever, killed him. So the lady had got a little frustrated, and I get it. You know, you lost 3 sons and got a little frustrated. And when they killed the 4th son, she was so hyped about what's the dude's name? About Anderson Cooper coming to interview her. I'm thinking, you just lost 4 kids in 1 year to murder. The city of Oakland has offered you time after time after time to move. And that made a difference in my life. That's why I decided, you know what? I'm out of here. I moved from Oakland. I stopped pastoring. I stopped pastoring in Oakland, and I have funeral fatigue. I just had 3 people who died this last year. One was a good friend of mine. We all grew up together. Another one died immediately after, and then the 3rd one just passed. And everybody said, "You gonna preach the funerals?" No, I'm not. I'm not. First of all, it's heck of expensive. By the time I fly to California, that's about $600-700. By the time I rent a car, that's another $300. By the time I find a place to stay and eat, I just spent over $1,000 and some dollars. And usually when I come and preach a funeral, and not that I need any money or anything, but one, you don't give me a place to stay, you don't pay for my flight or my rent a car or any of that, I'm cool. I can stay at home in my own house. Amar, you're breathing kind of hard, just to let you know. You know, so I'm with it, Will. I'm with it. With the funeral fatigue, this is the first time I told 3 people back to back, I'm cool, can't do it.
Hey, you know what? I was just gonna, if I can add something into here real quick. Grief is also, there's obviously like different levels to grief, but grief is even, doesn't have to be about the coffin, right? Like you can grieve different times of your life, whether it be relationships, whether it be finances, whether it be bad decisions. Like grief is real, and that's not to minimize, funerals and people passing. But I think what might even be more relevant for us is I mean, not that funerals and people passing is not relevant. I don't mean to discount that, but what I'm saying is something we might be able to practically use today as far as grief is, what are we grieving in our lives now, as far as what kind of moments or what kind of relationships or what kind of decisions or what do we got to leave behind, and how do we do that, because I deal with that a lot.
And Mike, I definitely 100% agree, because we grieve growing up, we grieve leaving out a negative household. Sometimes we grieve because we're in a better position than the people who we grew up around. Sometimes we grieve the fact that our loved ones don't like us because we went on to better our life for our kids. And we try to downplay ourselves for them. I got my master's and doctor's in 99. Nobody in my family knew until I preached my mom's funeral in 2012, because I was frustrated from hiding from them. I'm like, I'm not hiding from y'all no more. I'm not playing no games with you people no more. But you go through stuff, people not liking you. You didn't help them this time. You didn't help them 50,000 times. And the one time you didn't help them, you the bad dude. You know, all kind of stuff we go through life grieving that no one ever talks about. And so you're sometimes you feel bad for having a good life because other people, but they don't feel bad about buying weed every day, buying alcohol, smoking drugs, getting drunk, acting a fool, talking crazy, cussing, and all that. You feel bad because you're not like them. And they try to make you feel bad for not being like them. Do you think you're better than us? You think you're more important than us? You know what I'm saying? So we got to be careful what we grieve, and we got to get an understanding of what we grieve. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at, bro.
Well, yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I think in general having like you know, and speaking of AI, you know, it could help in this situation is to have, because I'm trying to develop myself, you know, kind of, for lack of better words, like a framework or a structure of grief, like whether it be the different stages of grief that I can apply to different, you know, the different griefs. Like I'm in a situation right now where I'm grieving and trying to get past where I'm trying to get past or whatever, and I need to compartmentalize it because it's bleeding all over the place. It's like it's overrunning my cup, like in bad ways. But you know, I think if we don't look at it in that perspective, you know, it could really overwhelm us. But if we really understand, like, you know what, you got to, if somebody might not be dead, but you need to grieve this situation and whatever that appropriate, adequate grieving is for you, and then be able to move on from it. But, you know, just understanding that there's grieving process before you even hit the grave, I think is very helpful.
Hey, man, you're 100% true. Because sometimes we need to grieve. We're grieving, bro, some of these finances. I was watching Plies. He went to Public, and he was going crazy because his grocery came up to $400, and it was only like 3 or 4 bags, and he put it in the trunk. And he's showing everybody the receipt. Y'all think because I'm Plies, I don't know his real name, whatever his name is. And he's like, my groceries is $400. How do regular people buy groceries for $400 and it don't even fill up their trunk? The trunk of their car. You know what I'm saying? That's grief. The money you used to spend on groceries or the money you used to spend on water bills. I just heard my buddy told me in California, they're asking you your income. PG&E is Pacific Gas and Electric is asking you your income before you apply for Pacific Gas and Electric, because it's probably going to be based on your income. If that ain't the craziest thing in the world, you mean to tell me you're going to charge me for the amount of money I make? You know what I'm saying? I got a leak in my front yard. Water bill, $5,000 that the water company busted themselves and trying to force me to pay and get it fixed. And we're going backwards and forwards. I didn't hire a lawyer. All the money I'm spending not to do the work, could have got it fixed. But the point is, man, you got to stand on some grounds, bro. Y'all ain't going to have me over here struggling just for these creature comforts. I thank God for everything that I got. I thank God for my wife, for my kids, I can still remember the day. I pray for the things I now have. I am thankful. I'm appreciative. But listen, this stuff ain't about to kill me. That's what it ain't going to do. Because I ain't never went to a funeral and seen a U-Haul truck behind it. And I done been to some of the best funerals in town, and I done have friends die with $10 million in the bank. And I ain't never seen a U-Haul truck follow none of them to the graveyard. So, you know, we grieve different ways. We grieve different stuff. Life is different now. This is a
Life be
different life.
lifing. As they say, life be lifing.
Life be lifing. That's why we listening to AI, because life be lifing. We ain't got nobody else to talk to because everybody going through something. Nobody got time to be worried about your stuff. They dealing with their stuff. I'm just saying, life, like you said, life be life, bro. So I just wanted to put that out there, that sometimes these sources can be used for good, or like y'all said, they can be used for bad. My goal is to do a podcast. My goal is to preach worldwide and international. My goal is I got a lot of things going on that I'm working on. I'm going to school for real estate. I do grief share on Mondays. On Mondays at my church, we do therapy Thursday. We do the men's prayer call that's been around over 17 plus years. So I'm doing all this stuff, and it all got to make sense. So I remember one time, I had like 5 homes, right? I had a house in California in the hills worth like $1.2 million. I had another house not too far from here with a swimming pool that was worth like $600 and some $1,000. And I'm just putting the money out there just for you can understand what I'm talking about. My wife had her own house for like 300 grand. I got a townhouse for like almost 400, and then we live in a house. So I'm talking to one of my friends, and in the middle of the conversation, he just hangs up. And I'm like, did this hang up on me? I call back. He hung up again. I'm like, dude, what is your problem? He like, man, them rich people problems. And I had to literally reach out and ask him for forgiveness because I prayed and asked God for this stuff, and I was having a pity party. And he was like, them rich people problems. I got to worry about buying some groceries. I got to worry about paying my rent. You complained about having a $1.2 million house in
But
San Diego.
it's levels. Just because you see, it's about a people's perception and it's about people's understanding. It's just on the level you are. It's just on the level you're on. If you live in tenements, if you live in tenements in New York or Chicago, the Caprini Greens or 6-9 Village in Oakland,
Right.
you got those problems because that's where you exist. That's where you are. Those are the things that you have to deal with. And so just because you got an extra buck or two that can move you from Caprini Greens to to the next level or the level after that or the level after that doesn't mean that your life doesn't come with problems. Doesn't mean that your life doesn't come with ups and downs. Just because you get $15 million a day doesn't mean that you won't die tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's $15 million ain't finna preserve your life. Because when it's your time, it's your time. Now, can $15 million make your life a little easier? Absolutely. Absolutely. When you don't have to stress on paying your bills. But now, what about the stresses that come with it when it comes to family members and people treating you a certain kind of way and telling you, got everybody got their hand out now. And then when you don't oblige them, you might oblige them once or twice, but then once you don't, because you got other things to do, now you're no good. You ain't this, you not that. And now you got a whole nother set of problems. You know what I'm saying? So just because you have something doesn't mean that you won't have stormy days. Because the Bible says it rains on the just and the unjust.
Yeah. And I'm with you 100%. But it brought me to a perspective that I had to get an understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because I should have realized who I was talking to. You know what I'm saying? Because we throw
Listen,
stuff off of each
but
other.
it doesn't matter who you talking to. If listen, you got 5 or 6 homes. I got one. What difference does that make? You able to talk to me? You tell me that you're going through something. You tell me that the weight is a little heavy. You got some bills mounting up on you. You got some things that you got to deal with. You got the water company pressing down your back. What? I don't have enough understanding and empathy to understand what you're dealing with. Just
There.
because you got 5 or 6 homes and I got one, oh, P-Shack I got one home. Oh, he got rich people problems. I just got one home. That doesn't matter. So
Well,
you don't have to get a level of understanding because somebody else's understanding ain't where it's supposed to be. You've already proved to God that you're grateful. You already proved to God that you're faithful. You already proved to God that you're appreciative of all the things that He's brought you through and everything. So you don't have to keep reminding you. I mean, listen, we can remind ourselves as much as we want to, but you don't have to get a level of understanding and remind yourself, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way because I pray for these things. Of course, you pray for these things. You also said that God ain't gonna bless you with more until you're able to appreciate what He's already given you. You've been very appreciative, and so He's blessed you with much. So therefore, just because you got a moment, you having a moment of wow, this is kind of heavy. Okay, Lord. I understand. Okay, I'm just gonna pull myself up by my bootstraps. I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna do this. Give me some understanding. Give me some. What should I do next or whatever? But that doesn't mean that you don't have to have a moment where you're like, "Oh Lord, this is a bit much. I thank you for it. So how do I do this and how do I do that?" That's it. That's all. But for you to have a moment of clarity because somebody else's understanding ain't cool, nah, nah.
well, I'm just saying, but it gave me clarity though. I'm saying I just had to understand my target audience. That's all I'm saying. I mean, if I'm talking to you, of course, we both have a different understanding of different things. But the individual I was talking to, maybe he was just petty, or it is what it is. But I just understood my audience.
Well,
But
now you know. Well, now you know not to talk to him. That's all. Now
now I
you
know
know
why he
not
live in
to.
an apartment and he praying for his rent to be paid every month, huh? That's
Hey,
why.
listen. Now you know to just talk to him about surface stuff.
Yeah, I
You
got
know.
to talk to him about stuff. Talk about my rental clients who ain't paying their rent on time.
No,
Yeah,
no. You just
no, I'm
gotta
just
no,
kidding, bro.
no.
That was a joke, bro.
You gotta talk to him about surface stuff. Hey, man. You see the polo match on TV? Hey, man. You see the dude ice skating down the street? Hey, man. Hey, man. Did you see Krusty the Clown eat a whole bunch of hamburgers?
Hey, I can't talk to him about ice because it don't snow in the Bay Area. You shouldn't have moved there. I'm just saying, bro.
You know,
It's just
you
funny,
just
bro.
know. Hey man, did you see that girl run around the lake with boots on? You know, whatever. you just you just know that it's surface. And when it comes to talking about things that's a little bit over his head, you know to stay away from him.
Yeah, and that's the funny part, bro. That it never crossed my mind that, bro, you come to me with all your problems. I just was having a moment and you literally hung up on me. I was like, this dude right here, bro. That was just funny, bro. I was like, all
Yeah.
right, man, I get it. And I get it. Because at the level he's at financially, to him, those are rich people problems. And I get
But
that.
see, listen. My boy, my boy owns about 28 Jamba Juices.
Okay.
And he calls, I check on him all the time. How you doing, bro? How's life? How's this? How the family? And he told me he's dealing with prostate cancer. And or was it colon? Prostate, one of them. And he just started talking about different things he had got to go through. I said, okay. Well, man, I'm praying for you. We're gonna do this, and that. Problems is problems. They
Right.
ain't rich. They not rich. They not poor. They not none of that. Problems ain't got no price tag on it. Life happens. Life happens, man, to all of us. And whether you rich or whether you poor, if you got some bills mounting on you or some things weighing on you, they weighing on you. you know? And because you have a little bit more money, they might be weighing on you a little bit more heavier.
Oh, yeah. Much is given,
A
much is
little,
required.
yeah, a little heavier. So man, uh I don't know, man. You just gotta have empathy. You just gotta have empathy for people. And I think this social experiment that they've put on us um, with social media, with COVID and all that kind of stuff, it's really trained people to be distant. It's really trained people to not feel anymore. Everything. And that's, I mean, that's even kind of like, well, we going back to AI. Everything is just it's just automated, you know?
Yeah,
So
man. And I appreciate that because at some point, people who has a lot of stuff,
Preach, Amar. Preach, Amar. He preaching.
yeah, people who have a lot of stuff sometimes feel like they can't be honest. You know what I'm saying? We can't be honest because if I talk, and a lot of times, most of the people who really out here doing it ain't got really nobody to talk to.
right.
They don't want to talk to the pastor because he always looking for some tithes and offering. They don't want to talk to their wife because she tripping. They can't talk to the homeboys they grew up with because the majority of their friends still in the same situation they was in when they grew up. You know, I know it's about 10 of us, probably about between 8 and 10 of us. We all went to Webster, right? And then we all went to Castlemont. And it's just this particular group looks like financially they're doing good. Now, I don't know anybody's financial status. I just know they ain't broke. They ain't super rich. I know that. But they're maintaining. And I know every time we get ready to do these class reunions, we got this one person. Oh, they only invited the rich ones. They didn't. Mindset, bro. What? How did you come to that conclusion? Because you're looking at the stuff we got, too much is given, much is required. We got to take care of all this stuff. Why are you having a pity party about the stuff that God has blessed us with? You have the same opportunities to do the same stuff we're doing.
It happens, bro.
But it's some people are just stuck, man.
You know, some people just ain't happy for other people's success.
That's true. Even though they said they're not. You know, me and you had a conversation. Yeah, can you hear me? Hey, Mark. Yeah, come back. I got to tell him to come back home. Yeah, but some people are not good with other people's success. Some people don't want people to be successful. Some people don't want people to become successful. I'm waiting for him to come back on. Can you hear me, Amar? Amar. I just told him to come back on. I want him to come back on. Me and him had a conversation about someone. And it is crazy that we even had this conversation. And we had this conversation, you know, somebody famous, somebody got more than we might ever have. We end up in the same situation, and they mad because people like me more than they like them. They ain't got nothing to do with me. You have a bad disposition. People don't like your disposition. But you're mad at me because people like my disposition and don't like your disposition. And you're mad because you're wealthy. But nobody like you. In real life, they'll tolerate you, but the reality of it is they don't like you. And so me and Amar had a conversation, and I was just telling Amar about, you know, about an individual that's pretty wealthy, that he was having a pity party because people was happy to see me and not happy to see him. Can you hear us, Amar? I hear Amar.
Hey, Shaq, he over there breathing hard like he working out or something. He working out.
He is working out. He's working out. He got. So Ezekiel, you ain't saying nothing today. What you think?
I'll be honest, I just had it playing in the background, Shaq.
Oh, you
So
ain't listening to us, bro?
no, I was on the phone with my family.
Oh, okay.
So
Um,
I just came in on the tail end. You
Hey,
talking
can I
about?
follow up on something that you just said?
go ahead,
Yeah,
Will.
go ahead, bro.
All right. So, um, you you had said about people's perception and their opinion based off of certain successes is the way I digested that.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I I can only speak for myself.
Okay.
I'm in a strong belief. Just
Ah,
in
go ahead.
general, can you guys still hear me? Because my alarm started going off. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
I didn't think so. Hold on.
Can you hear us now? Oh man, Will done went off. Will will be back. We're gonna wait for Will to come right back. But yeah, man, people get mad at you because you're doing okay. Hey Mark, you still there? Will should have been Will back. Go ahead, Will.
Bounced out and bounced back in. I'm sorry. My alarm started going off and it shut the platform down.
Okay, go ahead.
I was saying that I'm a strong believer in the fact that one, because we're kind of talking about internet. What you see on the internet is not reality 90% of the time.
Probably 100.
Yeah. That's one. And then two, I also feel like your success may always be someone's envy. That's not your problem
Right.
because those are choices. And a lot of that has to do with discipline. So I actually was having a similar conversation to this yesterday with someone at the gym. And I use this as an analysis. I'm a pretty by the fact guy. Last week, someone shared that they had did the personality test to tell you what type of person you are.
Uh-huh.
I've also done that exercise, but it's called the one I did is called the color exam, and it tells you what color you are. It tells you if you green, gold, yellow, brown, and so anyway, gold is like the person that's they live in the by the fact world. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
an A type. You're
So
an
if
A
it's
type personality.
yeah, A
Yeah.
type. So
Yeah, same plus. Same plus.
if it's not written, I'm not gonna believe it.
Same plus,
So
bro.
so I was telling this woman I was having this conversation with because one of my workout partners is a woman, and we were having this conversation in a group environment, and I said I'm a matter of fact type person. Like you cannot have a conversation with me, and this is not passing judgment on anybody. But
Right.
you cannot have a conversation with me and be like, "Hey, Will, every night, man, when I go home, I get I get a bottle of bourbon and I take a little sip. You know what I'm saying to take off the edge,
Right, right, right.
but I'm not an alcoholic, bruh.
Preach.
If
Right.
you drinking every day, every single day, you get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I learned that early for the gentlemen who live in Sacramento. I learned that early, and where I learned that at was Rayleigh's on Mac Road because I was a courtesy clerk at Rayleigh's on Mac Road shortly after I got out of high school. And there was a brother that came in there every single morning. I used to work the 7 a.m. shift. Now, take it, I was probably about 18, maybe 19. I'm 47. I still remember this.
You
It's
preach.
it was an old brother that an older brother used to come up in there. He always had on the same clothes, never failed. He would come in and he would buy, I don't even know what the name of this vodka is, but he would buy this little pint of vodka, the clear plastic bottle with the red cap, with the little white man on the front of it.
Yeah, I know which one you're
You
talking
know what
about.
I'm talking about?
Right, right.
And he would get it. He would come in with exact change every morning. And it was so cold, they didn't even count the pennies, nickels, and dimes. They used to just scrape it off of the counter and just put it in the cash register. That's a problem.
That's a
But
problem.
what that turned from was a lack of discipline. Problems come from lack of discipline. So back to the main point, if a person prejudgment is based off of what you have, it's a result of their lack of dedication to what they're doing and discipline.
Right.
Because everybody has the same 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? It's what you choose to do with it.
Correct.
So now, using myself as an example, I've shared with the group that I live with a disease. I had two choices. And this is what my doctor told me. You got two choices. You could either live or you could die. I could keep going around here saying, man, I really want to do this and make sure my kids got and my kids do and this and that, and looking for somebody to feel sorry for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or you can say, hey, man, I'm not going to let this beat me. Or at the end of the day, if you have something to say when the time do come, you're going to say, hey, man, that dude put up a good fight.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I honestly feel like when you find those people who envy certain lifestyles or they're jealous of certain lifestyles, because that's what it ends up turning into, is a jealousy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that perception comes from a lack of discipline on someone else's behalf, if that makes sense. And I also, and I learned this from my dad early, I also feel like as a man, you have to come to a certain consensus of where you are in your happy space.
Right. Right.
If your happy space is a 16-bedroom house, 8 bathrooms, 4 downstairs, 4 upstairs, 16-car garage, horseshoe driveway, that's your happy space.
Correct.
My happy space may be in a 1-bedroom condo with a beach cruiser and a Red Bull.
Right.
Which
right.
actually is one of my retirement goals. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I told my wife, hey, when these kids is gone, we downsizing.
But not
And
the
all I
beach
need
cruising with the Red Bull. You got to put the Red Bull up, bro. That's too much energy.
Well, I mean, I'm being sarcastic, but you
Right.
get my point. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
And that's the ultimate goal. Now, that might not be the goal for that person, but I think one of my mentors shared something with me one time, because over like the last 2 years, I started really focusing on buying my time back and utilizing my time appropriately. And one of the things was, hey, man, I really need to start going on more vacations and taking more time off work because the stress is killing me. My doctors told me straight up, they said, the condition you have was not created by your job, but your job definitely contributed to it.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? So, and we all have those problems, but I think that you have to make the choice. But he said something to me that made total sense, because everybody's focus is always, oh man, you're on the internet, you start seeing people, they went to do this, they went and did this, everybody's doing this, I gotta go do this. You don't have to go do nothing.
That part.
But what is vacation for you? You have to do whatever makes you happy and whatever the Lord's led you to. You know what I'm saying? So if your vacation is, hey man, we just gonna sit in the house and not answer the front door for 2 weeks.
Right.
That's your prerogative. Nobody can judge that.
That's true, bro.
I mean, that's I think someone said earlier about social media. I think social media is a great tool, but it made the world so much smaller to make people feel like they got opinions on everything.
Bro.
And I would share something my dad used to say, you know what I'm saying, when I was a kid, but it's not appropriate for this group.
Hey, you might want to say it, bro. You might want to say it.
But I'm sure everybody that heard it before. So anyway, man, that's my piece.
Hey, bro, you know the funny part too, when I talk to most people, and I'm, first of all, because I'm a 12th child of 14 kids, people didn't expect success, what they call success, because I'm still, I still got other successes I want to achieve. And then I've never been single, ever, since I was 16. I am 64, and in June I'll be 65. So I've never been single. And I've been with the same person for 46 years on Valentine's Day. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't party. So I take my money and invest my money into me and my family. So if they're out there smoking, drinking, acting a fool, doing all this stuff, I don't do none of that. Even when I worked in the entertainment business, I never hung out with the entertainers. I never did none of that crazy stuff. No, I'm not having an affair on my wife because I don't want my wife to have an affair on me, and I couldn't handle it. No, I'm not going to be disrespectful and disrespect my parents out here loud, cussing, acting a fool. No, I'm not drinking because my dad was an alcoholic, even though he was a functioning alcoholic and acted a fool when he got drunk. I'm not doing that. So I learned discipline at an early age, and I have an A-type personality. If stuff ain't a certain way, you ain't going to tell me anything. I'm not going to believe anything. I'm going to do it my way. Or if you don't like it, deuces. That's why I don't work for nobody. Because I don't want you to tell me what to do. So I work for me. And I tell me what to do. So, when people get mad at success, you need to talk to God. God the one blessed me. And I can still remember the day I prayed for the things that God blessed me with. So I'm learning how to be a little more sensitive because people keep telling me
that you lack empathy.
I'm learning empathy because people keep telling me, but do I really deal with it realistically? No. Why? I'm the 12th child of 14 kids. I got beat up so much. I learned how to say I need to protect myself. So now, in certain things, I'm just direct. I'm just like one of them old people you ask a question, and I'm going to just tell you, if it hurts your feelings, I'm going to tell you I'm going to pray for you, but I'm going to keep it moving. I ain't going to sit around and have no pity party. I'm going to just tell you the truth because I ain't got time to be lying to you. I ain't got time to be lying to nobody. I'm going to just tell you, don't ask me if you don't want to know. And if I think you don't want to know, I'm going to tell you to go to AI. I'm going to tell you to go to Copilot. Talk to Copilot. I don't know why this camera keep going off. I'm going to tell you to go to Copilot.
Hey, where Amar Khalil though? He was preaching. P-Shot.
Amar Khalil, he gonna click back on in a minute. But that's what I'm saying. So what's up? You on the line? Anybody seen you today, Ezekiel? What you got to say on Therapy Thursday?
Man, I'm just taking it in what you about the whole social media thing. It kind of hits home, right? Because I think social media has caused a lot of people to lose feelings with one another, right? It's caused us to have a lot of division and distance amongst one another. And I think COVID as well did that with the social distancing with COVID. We were a lot closer as a people, it seemed like, before all that happened and took place. And then I'm noticing the lack of empathy for one another as well. It's, I don't know what to say about it, man. I'm struggling with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm struggling because I'm a lover. I'm a person that love. I like love. I like to love on people.
I love on you, but my way. And sometimes it can be offensive, and people feel like I'm not compassionate enough. I'm not, like you said, I don't have enough empathy. I'm not sensitive enough. My bad. I've been through way too much. Had a lot going on in my life. Had so many losses. I'm good. I really do have compassion for people. Do I show it the way they want me to show it? Probably not. Do I act the way they want me to act? Probably not. But I'm still the best friend you can have. I guarantee you that. You ain't gonna find nobody as cool and chilled and open and checking on you. You ain't gonna find nobody like me. I'm one of a kind. I'm real. If you're my friend, I'm real. If you're my enemy, you gonna know I'm real. So because I have an A-type personality, I'm either all the way here or there. I'm working on empathy and middle ground. That don't work well for me. I'm just saying.
And I think we feel that way because we've experienced people who has abused that love, right? When you come from a family or a relationship or dealing with people who abuse your kindness or use your kindness for weakness, it will make you a lot more kind of how you're feeling, Shaq. I could truly relate to that, you know. But that's something I have to fight against, right? Because I want to be like Christ. That's my goal. You know, that's who I want to be like. I don't want to be like people.
And I hear people saying that, but I also say I'm not Christ. You feel me? As people say, oh, well, you're a pastor. Oh, you this, you that. I'm sorry. I ain't Jesus Christ, and I did not die for your sins. I'm working out my own soul salvation. I'm sorry. and that's offensive to people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, when I talk to my daughter and she talks about her children father, that's the type of person you chose. So because you chose that person, you get mad when that individual don't show up. So what you should have chose a dude like your daddy. If you would have got a man like your daddy, you wouldn't have the problems you have now. You created those problems. They don't never want to hear that. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Because you knew they didn't have a car. You knew they didn't have education. You knew they smoking and drinking and put themselves first. You knew all of that. And yet you chose to have a child by them. And then when they don't show up, you're frustrated and you're mad. No, just put on your big girl panties and raise your kids and raise them like you was raised. And one day, God will send a man your way who will take care of you and your kids. Even when I talk to the father, he can tell me the craziest stuff. I'll just be on the phone going, mm-hmm. That's it. Because if you don't, she grew up in a 2-family home her whole life. She has had everything given to her, a whole townhouse when you're 18, brand new car, got a good job working with your mom, decided went to school, change your mind, I'm going to go back. No, you're dealing with somebody who don't even have a father. Father's deceased. Mom on drugs. Grandparents raised you. You 2 different lives. One kid you ain't took care of. You really think you're going to be able to take care of your kid? And then he'll get mad. You won't let me see my baby. You don't pay no child support. You know what I'm saying? We ain't holding the baby back from you. You can come and see the baby where the baby live, but you ain't bought no milk since the baby was born. You ain't bought the baby nothing. You ain't donated nothing. But yet you want to see your baby. Where do you live? Where's your car? How you going to get the baby? No. She got a full-time job. She's dropping her kids off at childcare. And when she get off from work, she don't have time to bring the kids to see you. She's going to bring her kids home, feed them, take them a bath, do whatever she got to do, and go to sleep. Nobody got time for your shenanigans. And people, oh, you're wrong. I'm sorry. Some people I think shouldn't even have babies. I think you should be against the law to have a baby. You don't even need to be having sex. You ain't got no money. Quit having sex. You can't support a kid. Don't have a kid.
Or no sense.
And common sense ain't coming. Because I know a whole bunch of people I talk to tells me the craziest stuff. And when they tell it to me, I'll be like, all right. And that's it. I leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no negative or none positive to say. I just say, all right. Because if you don't use enough common sense to understand, I impregnated someone, they carried that baby for 9 months, and now they're the only one supporting the baby. And I'm not bringing nothing to the table but drama. Then when that person cuts you off, why are you upset? Everybody, of course, maybe in the beginning, the person was head over heels for you, but when the person found out you bring nothing to the table and excuse you from the table, don't get mad. You're bringing nothing to the table. That's all I'm saying. Because I'm like, Will, you got to show me something. You had 9 months to prepare to go buy a car. You had 9 months to go get a job. Now the baby been here 4 months. You ain't had no money to buy a can of milk, but every time I see you got on some brand new Jordans, oh, you expect us to take care of your baby, and then you see the baby when you want to see the baby, but we buy the milk, we buy the clothes, we buy everything, and then you want to call and, oh, your daughter won't let me see my baby. If I was her, why would I? I said, and this was my question. This woman is getting up at 6 a.m, getting kids dressed. She's young. She's taking her kids to childcare. She's going to work. And then after work, she's picking up her kids, bringing them home, feeding them, bathing them, and taking care of kids. Nobody got no time for you. What do you got? What are you bringing to the table? I guarantee whatever you was doing, she can find it somewhere else better with some money. That's all I'm saying. Because don't think you all that. Because I guarantee you, it's somebody out there better than you and got some money.
Hey, Shaq.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree anything. I don't disagree with anything that you're saying. I just wanted to plug in the word grace in there where we could maybe find some grace in that situation.
Hey bro, listen. Every time I offer grace, they take it for weakness.
I think he's talking about the daughter. I think he's talking about.
No, I'm saying. I'm saying,
grace.
but the individual, the dad, I'm offering grace every single time. Like, bro, come on, man. It's 16 months, bro. Come on. I gave you an opportunity to go to school, hook you up, for you can get an education, for you can take care of your kids in the future. You just shine that on. I'm like, hey, you can come through. No, I'm not driving out of my way to go bring you, your baby, to be at a house where a whole bunch of people are smoking and you don't even have a place to stay. No, I can't do that, bro. But you're welcome to come to my house.
Hey, P. Shaq, they got a kid together though, man.
And that ain't got nothing to do. That's the same thing. He should think of that. I got a kid. My kid needs to drink some milk. You don't think of that?
Maybe this season of his life or this first 16 months of his life, he don't got it right now.
You got a brand new Jordans every time. You know how much Jordans cost? You got to stand in line to get them. You ain't got enough money to buy a can of milk? One can in 4 months? Man, get out of here. And you go to the gambling shack every day? Come on, bro. You buy weed, you drink.
Well, I think there might be, because I hear what you're saying, P. Shaq, and you know, I find myself on both sides, right? Because I wouldn't say I've never been an individual to shy away from my responsibilities. At the same time, I found myself in seasons of life where I was simply unconscious of what I was doing, right? And so I think there's a difference between if you can bring to someone's attention in the way that you know that it's going to be received by that individual and say, hey, you know what, you're messing up, and then this is it, and it's that up to that person to be like, okay, you know, I didn't even recognize certain things that I was doing, and then for them to change their way. And I think that that's probably the grace I was more so responding to, was like, hey, you know, let's sit down real quick. I'm not going to attack you. We got this kid together. I'm not going to attack you. You don't attack me. We not each other's problem, but there is a problem here, and let's see how we could talk about it. Now, if that person says, you know what, I'm not trying to come to the table, I'm not trying to talk about nothing, you either, like, you know, get with my show or just get on, then that's a whole different story. Just let it be. But you know, there has to be some sort of point of reconciliation, because I just hate's a hard word, but I don't like leaving things, and maybe that's I'm flawed like that, maybe because I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I always feel like I don't want to leave the world fractured as I see it, and I don't want to give up my soul to try to fix it. But at the same time, like, it's like the story, like, kind of leave all the sheep and go for the one. You know what I mean? I just try to think about it in those terms, and I'm not trying to say discount anything to what you were mentioning, because I totally understand what you're saying. At the same time, like, also the other gentleman was saying, like, there's a child in between, and I know the ramifications, and we all know the ramifications of a child not having, a proper figure in their life in that way. And so that's the only reason I was bringing that up. But, to your point, as far as how he's not handling his situation, I'm wondering if anybody ever, said, hey man, you know what, I know you hurt. You hurting your you're hurting your baby. So I know you hurt. Someone hurt you. You want to talk about that real quick? Because how you got hurt and how you still hurt is how you hurting your baby. Let's talk about how we can make that make some sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Insight. First of all, I never knew who he was. So he wanted to meet me. She picked him up to meet me. And when he came to meet me, I said, look, man, that's not a good look. My daughter have to go pick you up to meet her father. But I get it. Are y'all dating? Well, we don't know. We're figuring this out. I said, okay, let me help you get an apartment, because he said he never had his own place. He said he had a 5-year-old that he's not in the 5-year-old life. And I'm like, let me help you get a place, get yourself together, and then in a year, y'all figure this thing out and y'all work out, some stuff. Oh, okay. Well, I don't have a diploma. I don't have a license. I don't have a car. I'm like, okay, let me help you get your credit clean. Let me help you get something for you to live by yourself for a year, for you can understand who you are. Oh, that's great. That's great. Never hear back from him. Okay, now the baby's born. I get it. Okay, you're excited. Now you're on your second baby. I'm like, you're 25 years old. You have a second baby. You don't have a diploma. I got a buddy who's a college professor who can get you in a truck driving school, help you get your driver's license, help you get your CDLs, help you, get you a job, and then you can get a car. You can drive trucks, save up some money, buy a car, be able to take care of both of your kids. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's it. So the other day, person hit me up, your daughter tripping, this, and that. She blocked me. I said, dude, let's just make some common sense out of this. I done seen you 3 times. You haven't, first of all, you didn't see the baby for 2 months, and then you seen the baby for a few days. You got mad because whoever she was texting, and now you haven't seen the baby for a month. Right? Let's use some common sense, bro. I done seen you 3 times with 3 brand new pair of Jordans. My wife is spending $40 on a can of milk for your 4-month-old baby. And we're helping your daughter, we're helping your child go to school. What are you going to contribute? Blank. So hit me back the other day. Hey, my other son in town, I want my son to meet his brother. You're going to get the same crickets that you gave me when I asked you what you're going to bring to the table. Why do your son need to meet him? You don't even take care of the first child. His mama boyfriend take care of him. And now
I gotta push back, Shaq. When you be like, what you bringing to the table, that be sounding crazy to me.
What are you going to bring to the table? Are you going to bring a can of milk? That's all I'm asking you.
Why you pose it? You ain't got to pose the question like that. You know what I'm saying?
I do got to pose a question like that.
I get what you're
yes,
saying.
I do.
That's how they be talking on social media. You know what I'm saying? When these women be trying to be little man.
Listen, you 25. At 25, I was married for 5 years, bro. And I was responsible not only for my kids, but I took care of some of my siblings' kids. And at 25 years old, you got a second child and you're not doing anything to take care of your child. you can't call me and ask me something crazy because I'm gonna respond. No empathy. I'm sorry, that's how I'm built. You can't wear 3 pair of new Jordans. You can't be at the gambling shack. You can't be smoking blunts, smelling like Black and Miles, and I'm asking you, can you buy your baby a can of milk? And you go blank. A can of milk? Come on, bro. In 4 months, not one can. I have no empathy. None.
I think just like the other gentleman was saying earlier, chat, and I completely agree with what you're saying. I understand exactly what you're saying. But maybe this particular young man needs to be around men like you, right?
The door is open. The door is open. The door is open. You're welcome to come. I'll talk to you. I'll sit down. I hold no animosity.
Hey, believe the door open, Shaq. You know
no, the door has not closed. Because believe me, the old me, that door would have slammed locked, and you wouldn't be able to even talk to me. So the new me is saying the door is still open. You're welcome to bring your other child over, meet his brother or sister, meet his brother. That's fine. But what you want me to do? I get her 100%. I was pro-father. And now I'm like, come on, bro. You don't even want to do better. You don't want to do better. Because if you want to do better, you'll do better.
Hey, P. Shaq, what do you think?
Hold on. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, what you think if you just, I'm not saying to do this, hypothetically speaking now, I'm just saying hypothetically speak. What do you think he would say if you just, if you guys just sat down? I'm just saying hypothetically, I'm not saying for you to do it or that it's your responsibility to do this, but just hypothetically, he sat down and went into the table or on the other side of the phone and you were on the other side of the phone and you'd be like, you know what? I'm not even going to judge you. I got nothing bad to say about you, even what you did in the past. I'm talking about a clean slate from here. Why don't you tell me what you think? How you think you are, father? Like, what are the things that you want to see about yourself, where you see yourself in XYZ amount of time or whatever? And maybe start from that perspective. And maybe the gentleman never really got. I'm not trying to give him any sort of way to be validating his bad behavior or his misgivings or his irresponsibility. But I'm just saying there always has to be a path forward, unless somebody just to say, you know what, man, get out my face with that. You know what I mean? And then you got no choice, whatever. But maybe somebody doesn't even know how to ask or how to receive grace or how to even be kind of vulnerable in that way. And I just hate to think a life is not worth. And I'm not saying that it's, again, it's not, I'm not saying that you have to do. I'm just saying I just hate to think a life is not worth. It's just like, leave it alone. Like, that person's lost. Again, if that person slams the door on your face and is like, I'm not trying to hear none of that stuff, man. Okay, fine. But like, what if that individual just hasn't maybe he doesn't come through your open door because he still feels like there's judgment waiting on the other side once he comes in. I'm not saying that's what he does, but I'm just saying. So I'm just curious if this gentleman was given, we'll call it the quote unquote right circumstance, to sit down and be like, look, man, why don't you tell me about yourself? And why don't you tell me what you want for you, what you want for your kid? And maybe he'll even have those words to have that discussion, but at least he knows, man, I don't even got those words to have that type of discussion. And then, hey, that's a starting point.
And I 100% agree with you, Mike, because I've opened the door. You're calling me pops. I'm sitting down here listening. I'm hearing you out. And every time you ask for my help, I try to make the help available for whatever you want. One day he called, hey, man, I want to get a car. I called my buddy at the car dealership. Hey, man, we're going to work on the credit, but can you approve him for the car? Because he need a car to come see his child. Boom. My buddy calls me, hey, man, he won't call me back. I call him back again. The guy's waiting on you, man. He's going to get you approved. You might have somebody have to sign for you to drive the car off because you ain't got no insurance. Crickets. Only, and I'm constantly being an open door. But this door is slowly closing because, to me, you're used to playing games with women. And it's difficult for me as a man to watch you play games with women. You think you finna play with a man, and that ain't gonna work with me. I'm constantly hearing you out. You're constantly texting me these long texts. Your daughter blocking me. Listen, bro, you like drama. Because every time you ask me to step to the plate, I step up for you. And then you don't follow through. So now I'm starting to understand her about you. Because you playing childish games.
I
When
hear
I
you.
was a man, I became a man and I put away childish things. There's no way in the world my child is going to be somewhere else and I'm not taking care of my child under no circumstances. It's my child. Well, her boyfriend taking care of the other child because me and her don't get along. I already let that pass the first time. But now I'm seeing why the dude is taking care of your child. Because you not. You got a whole nother man taking care of a child. Now they brought the child to you. You think after doing nothing, oh, I want my kids to meet. Fine. Come over here and let them meet them. Baby ain't finna go to a house with a whole bunch of people smoking. You don't have nowhere to sleep. Come on, bro. Nah, bro, that ain't happening. I don't even need her permission to tell you that. No, that ain't happening. Ain't nobody finna inconvenience themselves for you. Well, your daughter got a car. She can drive over here and bring my baby. That ain't happening either.
Hey
She's
man,
taking her kids.
I know
She's
I
taking
know
her
it's hard.
kids to
I know it's
childcare.
hard. Shaq, I know it's hard.
It ain't hard. I'm just
Nah,
not doing it.
It is hard.
I'm not doing it.
Reconciliation is very hard,
I'm
difficult for
not
a lot
doing
of
it.
people. But I'm gonna still push for it, no
You
matter
can
what.
push, and I'm not mad if you push. I'm just giving you facts. I live by facts. I've been giving you a pass since the day I met you. You're not showing me any patterns. Every time you ask me for help, I give you help, and then you slap my help in my face. You only follow through when you want to be around her. You don't
Can I
want to
ask a
help.
question?
Go ahead.
So, and this is just me listening on the outside looking in. I'm not passing no judgment. It ain't my. I'm just sharing what I'm hearing. What I heard is because I do some mentor work with young men of color. Um, and what I'm hearing is, and this is what I'm hearing. I'm just saying what I'm hearing. What I'm
Okay.
hearing is this is a gentleman who grew up in a household. Sounds like the father wasn't present.
Correct.
Okay. Sounds like mother was present. You pointed
No.
out something. You said
Grandmother.
grandmother. So you
Right.
said, "Hey, I'm just telling you what I'm digesting, what I heard."
Okay.
And what I'm hearing is you said, "Hey, I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm not going to play these games. Iron sharpen iron. That's in the Bible. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And you can't duplicate something you didn't see. And I'm not knocking nobody who grew up in a household with women, because there's plenty that turned out perfectly fine.
Okay.
But I do always look at things from the latter perspective of maybe this gentleman is not asking for the help in the appropriate manner because no one ever showed him how to. Maybe he's not coming back and saying, "Hey, you know what, P Shack, you did offer to take me down there and get the car, man. My bad. I fumbled that because I wasn't really ready." You know what I'm saying? Because I was scared. It take a lot for a grown man to say, "Hey, man, I'm 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 venturing out into new territory, and I don't really know how to navigate this, and to let somebody else take the steering wheel and control it." That takes it takes a lot as an individual to do that, because we're trained, and this goes back to a topic we talked about a couple weeks ago when you guys were talking about women, and I think someone used Latin women and black women as an example, and someone said Latin women are raised to be wives and mothers and etc., and they're groomed like that. If we're Christians and we're in the community, we have to do as such. And when we identify these things, it's not your job. You're 100% correct about that. It's not your job. But we also, as parents, because I have 3 daughters And I feel and P Shack, when I say I feel you, I
Right.
feel you. I feel you. Because one of my daughters is 25. By the grace of God, the dude she dating, he a good dude. He like one of my kids.
Praise
But
God.
the one before that, I was like, man, you know what I'm saying, brother? I look, my grandma used to say you can't hustle the hustler. You know what I'm saying? And
Game
and
recognized game.
and I hear you. But at the same time, sometimes as men, when we see these young men that's out here that's struggling, we gotta push start the car, especially men of color. You know what I'm saying? This brother driving a 5-speed, he don't know how to get it started without, you know what I'm saying? Because the battery dead. We as black men, we gotta get behind that car and push it and tell him to pop it in a second, bro, and get this car going. Now, if you help him get that car going and he run out of gas, hey, I got this one gas can for you, dog. Here you go. Let me help you start it off again. Now, if you come back a third time with another problem, unless it's just a complicated problem, and you coming to me for advice and asking for assistance in some manner, then I could help. But if you coming back with some type of tomfoolery, rebooting the place A, I can't help you.
And
But
that's all I'm saying. If this ain't even my personality to be humble, and I'm trying my very best, but each time I sit you down, I have a conversation, and you say, "Oh, well, you know, I don't have a way to send money to get some milk." Well, this is 2025, 2026.
correct. And I also
That's
think that
but you got a way to get Jordans. Three
and
pairs.
that was what my next point was gonna be. I also think as an older generation, and I know some of you guys are older than me. I'm only 47, so I got some knowledge, but
I
not a
got a
whole
son. I
lot.
got a son your age.
But yeah, but not a whole lot. I
Right.
also feel like beyond the generation, beyond my age group, a lot of these kids have a false reality of what reality actually is. And I'm speaking from my own personal experience because I have one of those kids out of my 4 kids. You know what I'm saying? And they think that the things that we give or the things that we've been able to provide are just normal, and sometimes they're not normal. And I think for my oldest daughter, she shared with me, and this was an intimate moment for me as a father. She shared with me when she went away to college. She was like, Dad, I never understood, because I have kids from 2 different marriages. My son is from my current wife, and my daughters are from my previous marriage.
Okay.
And my oldest daughter told me one time when she was going to NAU, she said, Dad, I never really understood why every time we would come to you and be like, hey, these new Jordans came out. Can you and X, Y, and Z? And I would be like, no, I'm not buying that. You get what I'm saying? And this is why. But then when she graduated, she said, you didn't buy $200 tennis shoes. I said, nah. But she was like, when I needed a car, you got me one.
Right.
When I needed to go to school and I didn't have the money and mom's bailed, me and my wife paid for her tuition. You get what I'm saying? And then
Right.
once she got there, we did send her off with some money. And she said, I never understood why you didn't buy certain things until after I went to school and I realized, oh, this is why. Because she had to start budgeting her own money
Right.
and figuring out certain things and different aspects, if that makes sense. And sometimes these kids, they don't have that grasp because mom, and I'm not knocking anybody when I say this, but I'm just going to say it. Mom, who is on welfare, AFDC, generational, X, Y, and Z, taught them this. Tax season's coming. We going on vacation. I have these people in my family. I just had this conversation with my younger cousin. Tax
Right.
season's coming. We going on vacation because as soon as mama get her tax return, that's what we going to do with the money. 2, I just got paid. I don't need to pay my bills. I'm gonna go buy I'm into Jordans too. But you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go buy these Gamma Jordans because they come out on the 23rd. Before I go pay my bills. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
Or
right.
they teach, hey, I don't need to eat nutrition at home because I'm gonna take the whole family to Crab Boil because I just got paid, but my check's only $500. I'm gonna spend $250 of it eating out, and then I'm gonna struggle for the next 2 weeks and tell my kids I ain't got it.
Right.
That's a discipline issue. We have to teach. We have to teach that, especially the younger black men, because they are the future. You get what I'm saying? And if we don't do that as a duty as black men, we doing an injustice to our own community. And the reason I say that is because these young men are the future leaders. They tomorrow. And these conversations that we having on Thursday have to continue.
And you're right. And this the thing, which initially she has two baby fathers. This is the crazy thing. I wasn't going to deal with the first baby father because he was talking crazy. But okay, I was like, okay, these what the brothers said online. I drove to Louisville, Kentucky, met my brother's son, and my brother's son is 30 years old, and he's never met my brother. I met a kid who never met their father. So I'm like, okay, let me change my perspective. So I changed my perspective, just told a young man, listen, we're not going to deal with the past. You respect my daughter because she's been raising her daughter for 2 years with no help. You and your mama respect my daughter. Everything else that said in the past is old. Cool. We see each other. We good. He get to take care of his daughter. They take time together. Good. Second one, I really believe he thought he had a ticket. He had a ticket. You know, this chick got her own place, got a brand new car. I can do what I want to. And then when we took the townhouse back and put it out for rent and made her move back home, he comes over like, oh, they gonna take care of everything. I ain't gonna take care of nothing. I don't care what nobody tells, what nobody says. In his mind, because I asked him, I said, hey man, when are you gonna buy some milk? He's like, huh? I'm like, you know your baby need milk, right? Well, that's what your daughter always complained about, me buying some milk. I'm like, I don't think that's a complaint. The baby needs some milk. Man, no milk. Bro, you gotta buy your baby some clothes. Oh, I'm gonna wait till he get old enough so he can wear these Jordans, and I'm gonna get him some Jordans fits, and we gonna look alike. But if you don't get no milk today, he's gonna be dead. And even though I'm still trying to be cool and nice, the real me, cussing him out. In my mind. Like I'm dealing with this like my own sons. I got 7 sons, and I'm telling them, and I make sure they do what they're supposed to do and will flash on them because you're going to be responsible. You're going to take care of your kids. I had a son, my older son, when he found out he had his first baby, a lady came to church. I'm the pastor. She's like, this is your son's baby. I'm like, did you get a Dana? She like, what's Dana? I'm like, DNA. Soon as she told me, I went home, called my son. Look, dude, if you've been having sex with this woman, she has a baby. You get your butt to this house, go over there and take care of that baby. He never stopped taking care of that baby from that day because we weren't playing with him. I'm trying to deal with this, but I know he can play games with her. He was playing games with her. You know, she already had a baby, low overweight. You know, her Tesla broke. Her windshield was cracked, tags was due, and she needed tires for running up and down the street with him. For 2 whole months, she had to pay for her own tires, $2,000. She had to pay for her own tires. She had to pay for her windshield. She had to pay for tags. That's $2,000. Now she ain't playing no more. Oh no, this ain't a game. I got to get childcare. I got to raise my baby. And no, you're not getting the ride in my car. No. So to me, in his mind, he playing a game. As much as I try to have compassion and try to understand, the reality is you're playing games. And you play games until you want something from her, and then you call me and hope I make her do something. I'm good. And I can hear from Ezekiel's perspective, Mike, I appreciate you, Ezekiel, Will, even Anwar. I talk to Anwar all the time. He's a therapist. And I understand people with different kids, different baby mama situations, but take care of your baby.
Hey Shaq. Hey
In
Shaq.
4 months, you can't come with a can of milk? Come on, bro. I don't care
Hey,
what you tell me. If he ain't got a can of milk in 4 months, bro, you can tell me anything.
I hear what you're saying. This what I'm gonna say though. And this my last stand on all this.
No,
'Cause
you
I'm a young father as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm a young man, young husband, young all that. Young
you went
black
4
man.
months without buying your baby milk?
No, I haven't. I can't relate. But I'm gonna tell you this. When we done holding black men and black boys accountable, like we are holding them accountable right now,
Why can't we hold black men accountable?
somebody gotta hold our daughters accountable as well.
I am, and I told her.
Okay.
And I told her, and I said, you made this decision twice. So now you got to raise your own children. And one day you might be raising them by yourself. So she applied for a better job. Her kids is in childcare. She's taking care of her responsibilities. I want you to not go to work on time. Bring my baby to me. Bring my baby to me. I'm paying childcare. My baby going to childcare. I'm not finna detour, be late for my job to entertain you. Come on, bro. The responsibility thing is she's doing what she's supposed to raise her kids. Can't get mad at her. She knows she made a mistake. She knows she got to take care of kids. She knows she got to get herself physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, financially, and spiritually together. Because in the future, she might be a single mother with 2 kids. And I ain't mad at her. And when you ask me, I'll tell you, hey, I get it. Quit arguing with somebody who ain't going to do nothing for you. You made that choice. You chose somebody who don't do anything for nobody but themselves. And you know that. She just told me, oh, he asked to borrow $300. How did you loan somebody some money who ain't bought no milk? And now you think I'm going to argue back and forth? Girl, you better write that $300 off. That money gone.
Hey, P. Shaq. Sound like you might need to go ahead and invite him onto this podcast, bro.
I invited him. He won't come on. I didn't try to, oh, you can't take me to the school to register? No. I've already put you in touch with the people. Oh, you can't drive over here and bring my baby to see me? No. If you can make it to a gambling shack every day, you can make it to the mall down the street from my house to buy you some new Jordans. You can make it to the other mall, not too far from my house. And you can make it to the place to go buy some weed. If you can't make it to go see your baby, I ain't bringing your baby to you under no circumstances. That is not my responsibility. My responsibility is to make sure my daughter have a roof over her head and her and these kids are taken care of and help her support them kids. That's it. I'm going to still be nice to you. I'm going to still talk to you. My door is still open for you to come see your child. But me doing anything for you, I'm cool. I'll talk to you, all that. But playing games with me, you know, I never even went to recess. No, I'm playing. I just can't play games. I can't keep making excuses for black men. There's too many black men on the corner who father haven't went on the corner and took them off the corner. My son wanted to go on the corner. My mother's house was the block. And when we went over there, I dare you to go over there with him. I double dog dare you. See what happened. Byron said, the truth is that the women, and that's most of these young men today, they put it all on the women. They don't want to put nothing on themselves. Yeah, most of these black dudes think just because they're having sex with you, they're doing something. A woman can have a whole baby. So I promise you, you ain't really doing nothing. The only thing you can do is become a responsible individual, because if you don't, 10 years from now, them kids gonna cuss you out. Them same kids you didn't help support is gonna tell you about yourself. And when they tell you about yourself, your little feelings gonna get hurt. But you can prevent that. I have, like I said, 9 kids. Not one of my children cannot say that I have not been there for them. They can never make that story up. Even if they told somebody, everybody gonna tell them they're a lie. I decided I'm not gonna drink, I'm not gonna smoke, I'm not gonna cuss, I'm not gonna be loud, I'm not gonna be this, all because I had a wife and I had some kids. That's my choice. And I've worked with, imagine, 7 kids, and they women, all they kids, all that. And I'm trying to work with you, but you play games. And you think you're playing games with a little girl, you talking to a grown man. And a grown man is only going to tolerate so much for so long. If you can't bring a can of milk to the table, I don't feel sorry for you. You can walk around with some Jordans, some brand new clothes, and your baby ain't got no milk. I don't feel sorry for you at all. I don't have no empathy or nothing. But that's not a pastor. Well, I ain't Jesus, and I didn't die for your sins. So don't take it personal. You know, people might get mad. You know, I still need therapy. That's all I'm saying. I still need therapy. Mr. Muhammad, before we get ready to close it down in the next 20 minutes, what's up with you?
Good day, brother.
What's up, man?
Oh, man. At the house with my son.
Hey, tell him how hard I be on you. And you're a therapist.
Oh, brother, you never hard on me, man.
I was hard on you at your divorce.
that wasn't hard. That was Shaq being Shaq.
Oh, okay. But it didn't help you grow?
Oh, yeah. All of it does. But, you know, I take everything just like it's supposed to be. Not everything, but, you can't put a race car on the freeway. You got to keep it on the racetrack. So
I can't put a bucket. If it's a bucket, leave it where buckets ride.
Yeah, bro. Sometimes we only could do what we could do to our capacity, bro. So even the young guy, we only could love, appreciate up to our capacity. So, we only could do what we know what to do. Can't do anything better until we learn different.
Right. Yeah, I just think sometimes, man, people play games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times people play games, and they've been playing games so long, even when somebody come into their life to help them change, they don't want to change. Yeah. We got a friend who's doing Triple Life. Is it Triple Life? All because when we tried to help him, he didn't listen. Right. He's doing Triple Life. All that could have been avoided.
Yeah.
All that could have been avoided. Now that I'm talking to him now, he's getting his life together and he's changing, but now you're going to have to fight the system to get out of a system that could have been avoided.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as men, we have to quit being sensitive, man. I mean, we have been so sensitive to this generation. This generation don't care about nothing but themselves. They selfish. They're arrogant. They're high. Somebody need to sit them down, which I'm trying to do. Sit them down, have a conversation, and then they get back up and go do the same thing.
Hey, P-Shack.
Go ahead.
Hey, Will, I was going to ask you just from your unique perspective, aside from, I know you share a similar perspective with P-Shack in regards to you having your daughters. Will, what would be like one concise or succinct piece of wisdom or of advice that if you could speak to this brother that P-Shack is talking about, like, and if you had like one sentence to just share with him, like what would that be? I don't know why this question came in my mind, but I was like, I'm curious what Will would say if like you had a chance to sit down on the other end with, from this brother and just had a real quick minute with him, like what would be that thing that you would say?
So I think I would share one. I've been on the other side of the table, so I've been in that situation. Not in a situation not providing for the kids, but people passing judgment on things that they may not be completely, educated on or whatever the situation is. And I would probably share with him that one, it is your responsibility to raise them kids. That's number one. Two, you need to come up with a solution on how to facilitate this relationship healthy for your children, regardless who's taking care of who or whatever's going on. You have to come up with a solution that works for those kids to make sure that those kids grow up healthy. I heard someone say this, and I was going to comment on this, that we have to hold these young black girls accountable. So I'm gonna share something. I don't share a whole lot of personal stuff with people, but I'm comfortable with y'all, so I'm gonna share this. So my daughter, my oldest daughter, she lives in Baltimore, and she moved to Baltimore probably about this June. I think it'll be 2 years. So she moved to Baltimore because her boyfriend is he's an operations manager for the Baltimore Ravens. That's what he does professionally. And as soon as she graduated college, because they met in Arizona, she was like, I'm gonna move out there. Me and my wife was like, boop, 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 boop. Flag on the flag, flag on the flag. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you're not doing that. So this is where the accountability of black women come into play. I had to sit my daughter down and tell her, hey, nah, we're not doing that. You're not moving out there to live a certain lifestyle off of somebody else's income. But what you can do and what I would prefer for you to do, because you over 18, by this time she like 21, 22. I
Okay.
said, but what you can do and what we would prefer for you to do is, one, go get you a job with the state government in Arizona, because she's a social worker and she getting licensed to be a therapist right now. And I said, go get you a job so you get the investigative background that you need for the social work inspections that you have to go out and do when you're doing this therapeutical work, because she plans on working in the juvenile system. And I said, so I would do that for 1 year, give him an opportunity to get acclimated to his new professional career, and one, get on permanently, because he was not a permanent employee with the Ravens at the time. So that way, when you do come into the situation, if you choose to go that direction after this, you know what I'm saying? If you choose to go that direction, both of you guys come into the relationship as whole individuals, which helps complement each other. And I think, as far as the advice goes, I would suggest that you work on getting yourself whole, being able to learn how to provide for your kids appropriately, regardless what that looks like for you. Because I seen I could barely see this chat, but I think is it Byron had
Yeah, Byron.
commented,
Yeah,
yeah,
Byron.
had commented that, what we give our kids. And I think that's a great point, because me and my daughter's boyfriend have a really close relationship. Like, we have such a close relationship that I've shared with my daughter, hey, if y'all go y'all separate ways,
You gonna tell me your dog,
I'm
huh?
probably gonna still be friends with dude. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
in short, he comes from exactly what you described. And I'm gonna share this, and hopefully nobody says anything, because I know some of us live in Sacramento. I met his dad.
Okay.
I met his dad probably, it must have been last May for the first time. And bruh, when I met his dad, the alcohol hit me in the face.
Wow.
And for some of you guys, I participate. I have two business partners, and we own a bar. So I have a very sensitive nose for over intoxication, because I observe it sometimes. And I was like, man. So then we get to talking, because I want to give him a solid shot, even though he shared things with me about his dad. You know what I'm saying? But I want to give him a solid shot. Maybe I could help men whatever is messed up in the dynamics of this relationship. Because sometimes he comes to me and asks me things that I'm like, bro, you probably should be asking your dad, but he's also shared with me I can't go and ask because of this, the dynamics look like this. And then
Okay.
when I met him, I was like, oh, prejudgment. I'm like, oh, I see why you're not. But in short, I think that I would say you have to come to a conscious decision as a man what you want to provide for your kids. And I'll share this. I came to a conscious decision, my ex-wife. My ex-wife comes from what we've been talking about all morning.
Okay.
That's part of the reason why it didn't work. Because when she came to me and said, "Hey, I'm pregnant," my number one thing was, and this is not smart, but unfortunately, a lot of us go down this road. And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, I got to do the right thing for my kids. So me coming from a more traditional family, I'm like, all right, now I got to marry her. In short, I would never give that advice to anybody. You know what I'm saying? But it took me a very long time to realize the only thing I was responsible for was raising the kids.
Okay.
But I also went through a lot of trauma when I decided, hey, bing, 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 flag on the play. Now I've married you. This ain't working. Now I got to figure out what is going to work because this is not going to work. And one of the number one things that I came to the conclusion was I didn't grow up on the system, so I didn't want my kids to grow up on the system.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
I was like, okay, I have no college education. I don't work with my hands. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But I got to figure this out. So I took the latter route and I said, okay, I'm gonna go get a job. So I went and I worked in finance. I made great money, right? Working in finance. The bubble hit, and I was like, oh man, they moving everybody to Carolina. I can move to Carolina. They're gonna let me keep my California salary, right?
Right.
But I also know I'm getting ready to go through a divorce and I have no family support there. So what do? Boom. So I retreated, I doubled back, I restarted, I went to go work for the state of California. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of figured these different things out. And I think as far as advice goes, I think that it really boils down to giving this young man advice of what is going to work for you and what do you not want? Because I don't think as an individual or as individuals, we can see what we want until we see what we don't want. And saying that, you know, like I said, I went through a lot of trauma when it came to my ex-wife day. Oh, he don't do and you don't and and blah 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 blah. I'm because we live in the same city. She lived 2 blocks over from me currently. You know what I'm saying? And he don't and but I also I dealt with all that trauma, but being an individual and being forgiving, I've never said, hey man, that's cool. She told you that? That's cool. Tell her to tell you about how she didn't pay for her daughter to go to college.
Right.
Tell her to tell you about when her daughter needed a car and she was getting a new car and we bought her daughter a car. Her daughter wrecked the car. She went and co-signed for her sister to get a car instead of helping her daughter out. And then we had to double back and figure it out again. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
The lacks. So I think I would give the advice of don't focus on the latter end of things, focus on the now. And what are you doing now to contribute to these kids? Regardless if that's having a conversation with P Shack and saying, hey man, a gallon of milk costs $5. Hey bruh, I really ain't got the 5, but I got 250.
That part.
You get what I'm saying? And I think that would be the advice that I would have. And I would also say the other advice that I would have would be to, and I know you said only one sentence, but you opened up the door.
No, go ahead. We'll talk, bro. It's open.
So the other advice I would have is get you a mentor, bruh. Because a lot of it boils down to the will is already created, man. All you got to do is get in here and add your spoke. You ain't got to recreate it.
Right.
That's the reality of it. But unfortunately, as black men, man, we definitely not, as black men, man, we definitely not taught to ask for assistance. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about financial assistance. I'm just talking about assistance in general. If you're trying to figure it out and you can't figure it out, I'm gonna tell you something. ChatGPT ain't gonna get you there.
Bro.
And and that's
Hey,
just the
bro,
reality of it. It's
I'm
gonna
with
help
you,
you get
dude.
somewhere, but it's not gonna be there.
Hey, man, listen, I'm the 12th child of 14 kids. I'm the only one graduated from high school out of boys. I'm the only one went to college. I had to kind of hit and miss, right? My whole life.
I
And
lost you.
can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Oh, you got
I'm gonna come
called back.
back.
Yeah, but Mike, and I kind of hit and miss, and then I'm trying to understand how much grace. You can't hear me?
Yeah, I'm right here. I
Oh,
can hear
Mike
you.
can hear me. I'm gonna tell Anwar to call back. A lot of times, man, you go out of your way, and sometimes it get offensive. Like my father had a second grade education. My mom had a sixth. My father met my mom when she was 15. He was 17. My grandfather came back into the picture, moved them to California. You got this fine chick mixed with Indian and black, and you can pass for white. And he moved to California. Come on, man, a country boy. So his insecurity, he just kept her pregnant. That's how they ended up with 14 kids. So me being the one to challenge everybody and everything, I became that black sheep because I'm like, man, I'm finna graduate. I ain't finna do all this. I ain't finna stay around here with 14 people, everybody getting drunk, smoking weed. I'm not doing that. I'm finna do something different. So when I got married so some foundation for my kids. And even though their foundation was shaky, because I'm young, 30-some years old, 9 kids, man, that's a lot. And I'm really trying to understand, give people the benefit of the doubt. Like my daughter, that sometimes that's frustrating, but I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. But when I feel like at some point it becomes manipulation, then I'm good. And I'm sorry for that. And I wanted to ask the question Mike asked Will, Anwar, since you're a therapist, how would you talk to him? Anwar Muhammad, can you hear us? I know it. He must can't hear us. So we have to come back, bounce back to him. I'm a text him. But you know, Ezekiel, how are you gonna talk to him? Answer that question. Ezekiel can't hear me either. But y'all hear me, right, Will? You and Mike?
Yeah, I'm here with you. I'll just, I'm not really. I'm kind of short on the wisdom right now. I mean, shoot, I'm pushing 40. I'll be 49 this year.
Okay.
But I was raised by my mom. My dad, God bless his soul, may he rest in peace. He was a Rolling Stone, always trying to find himself and never really did. And as a result, the seeds that he planted along the way, they got just enough, but apparently it wasn't good enough because we still fell short of some of the things that we needed to learn, that only a man or a father could teach you. And so I always feel as though I'm on the receiving end of advice just because I'm always bumping into walls still at my mid age. But with that being said, with this young gentleman that we're talking about, the only thing that I could think of, man, beyond all of the things that makes practical sense in regards to, okay, if someone slap you on the face, of course, you're not going to stick around and get slapped again, we'll say, so you walk away, right? So I understand the practical sense of walking away in that sense. But with that being said, the only kind of sense right now that I could think of is in my own life. And I brought up that word about grace, not as a alternative or as a challenge, but more so just because that's the only thing that I've been able to hold on to in my own fight. And so, what I would say to this gentleman, and honestly wouldn't even come from a place of advice, because like I said, I'm short on that right now. I got to, you know, that's just where I'm at. But I would say, you know what, brother, you know, I believe in you, man. You know, I believe in the best of you. You know, and you know, I don't know where you've been, and I don't even know where you think you might want to go. You know, but that's the only thing that I need you to know about me is that I believe in you. I hope that one day you believe in yourself the way I believe in you, and I believe in you because I know who created you. And you know, I'm gonna give you that love right there. And I hope that, you know, that could be a little seed that one day, you know, grows into something, man. But just don't close it off. Don't forget what I'm telling you. I believe in you. And I hope that you believe in yourself. And it's not just something that I'm saying because it's a rah-rah speech. It's because, you know, I wish somebody would tell me that they believe in me like that, because that would make a difference for me, or that has made a difference for me. So I just leave him with that simple thing and let him reflect on that. You know what I mean? And if he don't do nothing with it, then he don't do nothing with it, man. But you know, I would think that anytime that somebody tells somebody else that I believe in you, I believe in the greatness in you, even if you don't believe it or see it in yourself, you know, that sticks with them, man. That's at one point or other that'll get to them.
And I appreciate that, man. I just at some point I'm just asking because we have a generation of young men, right? Oh, he dropped. We have a generation of young men who no one is making. Oh, Mike is back. We have a generation of young men, and I understand the sensitive part. I get all that, but at some point we gotta become responsible. You know what I'm saying? And I know people say, oh, that was back in the day, this, and that. Bro, I left home, 18 years old, and everybody ain't like me. So take it from me. And I wasn't nothing special. I just made a decision. And when I made the decision, I lived with the decision I made. I did not. To me, an excuse is the first cousin to a lie. So I'm going to tell you who I am. You can deal with me where I'm at. And that's it. And you're not going to hurt my feelings. Because when you're the 12th child of 14 kids, you've been beat up so much, you ain't even got no feelings. You ain't got no empathy. You ain't got no emotions. You're just an individual. And I realized at some point in my life, I got to take responsibility for what I do. And I couldn't, and I'm not going to leave that to nobody else. I don't care if I hooked up with a hood rat. I don't care what I did, whatever I've done. And I went to federal court, right? Because I refuse to testify against people. I'm going to just put it out there. And in the midst of, I said, when you plead guilty, whatever, in federal court, I was like, I'm guilty. Sir, you can't say that. You got to let your lawyer say that. I said, bro, I'm guilty. I'm guilty for the stuff I've done. Well, you can't say that. Why can't I say that? Why would you just go through this whole trial to prove if I'm innocent or not innocent? I'm guilty. The world like to hear lies. I'm not lying. I'm guilty. Well, we're going to have to go through this. You went through a whole year process, and I still pleaded guilty. You wasted money. And everybody like, what? Yes. Well, we need you. I'm not testifying against nobody. I'm not doing that because I refuse to testify against the people. I was like, what I've contributed to, I'm guilty. And judge, lawyers, DA, everybody frustrated. You supposed to say you're not guilty and let your lawyer fight? No, bro. I ain't finna do all this. This is a waste of time. So me being as sensitive as I can and little things, hey, bro, it's big for me. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you. I remember I'm pastoring. My son got shot by the police. They was trying to rob a place. People come to church wondering if I'm the pastor because it's all over the news. People come to church. I'm like, the only reason y'all here is because y'all see my only reason y'all here because y'all see my son on the news. Yep, he committed a crime. Yes, he shot. Yep, he incarcerated. Anything else? You know what I'm saying? When I was a sheriff, San Bruno jail, same thing. The dude was in jail like, hey, your son in jail. Yeah, he committed a crime just like y'all. I don't have time to be lying and making up stuff. It is what it is. You did it. Hey, you and my daughter together? Well, we trying to figure that out. Okay, cool. I'll help you get your own place, help you get yourself together because your son need a father in his life. And I'm 64 years old. I don't need to be raising somebody else's baby. Bro, I think you can only give people what they want. And if people don't want nothing, you got to quit giving people stuff they don't want. We gotta make our men and women both responsible. Just because you can have sex and have a baby, don't mean you should have one. It don't. And you go around telling people you got a baby for what? You're not feeding it. You're not clothing it. Quit telling people you got a baby if you're not going to be responsible for that baby. And if you grew up with a hard life, you should be a better parent. If you grew up with a bad life, you should be a better parent. I'm telling you, when I was going to court, my lawyer was frustrated. I was like, bro, I did it. What? I'm not testifying. I don't know nothing about them people. But what I contribute, I did. How you get frustrated? I'm telling you the truth. And that's life, man. People don't like hearing the truth, bro. I'm just putting it out there. Vaughn Jones, we was just talking about, I don't know what we talking about, young people not taking responsibility. So, Mike, I really tried. I grew up with a two-parent household, and my dad didn't speak to me ever. Matter of fact, my dad called me when he was dying, called me on the phone and said, can you come pray for me? You're in the Bay Area. I live in Hayward. He lived in Tracy. He was like, can you come pray for me? I'm like, who is this? This is your father. I'm like, man, let me speak to my mama. My mother get on the phone. I'm like, who is that? That was your daddy. Why are you calling me? He wants you to pray for him. He's about to die. All right, I'm on my way. I was over 50 years old. Held my mom and dad hand and my kids, and we prayed for him. He accepted the Lord as his Savior. A few days later, died. You know what I'm saying? Excuses to me is a first cousin to a lie. Even though I'm trying to be sensitive, even though I'm trying to hear you out, even though I'm trying to love on you, in my mind, it tells me you're lying. You really, if you want to do right, you can do right. When I was 283 pounds, I looked in the mirror, realized I was 283 pounds. I was like, dude, you're dying one spoonful at a time. You already had a heart attack, already had your gallbladder removed, you borderline diabetic, borderline high blood pressure. You better put that spoon down. 138 pounds later. You got to make decisions and you got to stick with them. You got to quit making an excuse for this generation. I get it. It's a whole bunch of single mothers that raise great men. It's single fathers that raise great kids. But we got to quit making excuses and we got to start taking responsibility for our actions. That's all I'm saying. And we get ready to close it out. Will, you got a comment before we close out? And then I'll ask Vaughn Jones and we'll close up. It's just me, you, and Vaughn, Will. So I don't know if Will can hear me. But yeah, closing comments. Listen, y'all. Thank y'all for Therapy Thursday. Thank y'all for showing up. Thank y'all for being there. And our song that we're going to play out is by Amar Khalil. And we're going to play it out, y'all. Love y'all big. Hold on.
Most people think FedNow is just a convenient new payment system.
1 second.
Kind of like that.
I'm going to try to play us out unless Will come back home. But this is our closing song. Byron. Thanks, Byron. Deborah, thank you. Hey, I appreciate y'all all coming on today. Appreciate everybody on Therapy Thursday. I'll be here next week. And y'all want to come on as a guest, hit me up, inbox me. I'll bring y'all on a guest. We can talk about anything, Linda. We can talk about everything. Deborah and Linda will join me live on Therapy Thursday next week. And Brian, call in, man. Send me your number. I'll send you a link for you can join us, bro. Hey, y'all, I love y'all big. Y'all have a great weekend. I'll be on tomorrow. I'm preaching tomorrow. So I'll be on tomorrow. And hey, I'll be preaching tomorrow. So I just want y'all to know I love y'all big. Y'all be great. Have a good one.